Good morning, Birmingham. Today is Tuesday, July 28th. The time is now 9:41 a.m. I call to order the meeting of the Birmingham City Council. This morning's invocation will be led by Reverend Vincent Martin, Associate Minister of Wilson Chapel Missionary Baptist Church in Birmingham. The Pledge of Allegiance will be led by Councilor Darrell O'Quinn. If you're willing and able, please stand and join us.
Let us pray. What a friend we have in Jesus. All of our sins and griefs to bear. What a privilege it is to carry everything to God in prayer. Oh God, we come this morning according to your word. You said if we acknowledge your ways, that you would direct us. Oh God, we come this morning seeking your direction. Oh God, let these decisions that are made today, Heavenly Father, let them not only look at the road, but let them look down the road to see how it's going to affect generations to come. Oh God, we pray that you will give us a kindred spirit today, that everything will go and have Heavenly Father in a godly manner. And Lord, we ever give you the honor and the praise. And before we close this prayer, we ask you to forgive us for our sins of omission, our sins of commission. In Jesus' name we pray. Let every heart say amen. Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you so much, Reverend Martin, for that very inspirational prayer. Thank you, Dr. O'Quinn, for leading us in the Pledge of Allegiance. At this time, good morning, Madam Clerk, if you'll call the roll.
Good morning. Councilmember Gunn. Good morning. Councilmember O'Quinn. Good morning. Councilmember Smith. Councilmember Smitherman. Good morning. Councilmember Vasa. Good morning. Councilmember Williams. Good morning. Good morning. Councilmember Woods. Good morning. Good morning. Council President Pro Tem Tate. Good morning, and Council President Alexander.
Good morning. Thank you very much. Councilors, the minutes are not ready from the meetings of June 2nd, 2026 through July 21st, 2026. At this time, we'll entertain communications from the mayor. Good morning, Chief.
Good morning, Madam President. Good morning, Madam Pro Tem. Good morning to the members of the council, to the members of the public, all those under the sound of my voice. I have a very brief mayor's report for you today. First of all, it's time to register for school. As a reminder to parents of school-aged children in Birmingham, if you haven't completed your child's registration and enrollment, please do so now. School starts August the 10th, and we want every student to be ready on day one. Enroll at www.bhamcityschools.org. Speaking of back to school, the City of Birmingham, along with several community partners, will host its Strong Start Birmingham Back to School rally presented by Window World on Saturday, August the 1st from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the Birmingham Crossplex, which is located at 2332 Bessemer Road. The event will feature a DJ, food trucks, face painting, a game truck, inflatables, Coca-Cola samples, a limited number of free haircuts by Birmingham Barber and Style School, and free school supplies. Partners include Crime Stoppers, the Birmingham Police Department, Birmingham Fire and Rescue Services, Church of the Highlands, Coca-Cola United, Rising Star Baptist Church, and the Birmingham Crossplex. Again, it's this Saturday, August the 1st, from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the Birmingham Crossplex, and we hope to see everyone there. And then finally, Madam President, at this time, I would like to ask Zoe Fribble, Vice President of the All the Same Alabama, to join me at the podium, as well as any guests that she may have with her. Madam President, Madam Pro Tem, members of the council, Zoe is a part of a group of high school students who formed a statewide nonprofit organization, and they're traveling across the state. They're from Enterprise, Alabama, and they're presenting hydration essentials to our first responders. This morning, her group presented to our esteemed Fire Chief, Corey Moon. They presented to him and the rest of the department water bottles, Gatorade, Gatorades, electrolyte packets, and cooling towels for our firefighters and first responders. So Zoe is here to tell us more about their efforts. Zoe?
Good afternoon, Mayor and members of the City Council. My name is Zoe Friddle, and I'm a student at Enterprise High School, where I serve as the Vice President of All the Same Alabama. I'd also like to mention the President of All the Same Alabama, Jaden Bloodworth. Ever since we started this organization, we've hosted school supply drives, donated children books to promote literacy, and organized a Mother's Day hygiene drive to provide essential items to mothers and families in need. Through these projects, we strive to create opportunities for young people to make a positive and lasting impact across Alabama. Through partnering with Project Pulmonary, a nonprofit organization founded by Bettina Lee, Project Pulmonary is dedicated to raising awareness about the carcinogenic environments that firefighters are exposed to every day first responding. Their mission is to educate the public about the long-term health risks firefighters face and advocate for greater awareness and support for these brave first responders. Together, All the Same Alabama and Project Pulmonary are organizing a hydration drive for the firefighters serving your community. We work directly with local firefighters to coordinate the collection and delivery of bottled water and other hydration supplies. This initiative has already taken to Enterprise, Dothan, Montgomery. Yesterday we went to Homewood, and today we're in Birmingham. By the conclusion of our Birmingham drive, we have donated nearly 10,000 bottles of water, along with a variety of other hydration items to firefighters across Alabama. As we continue to grow, we hope to bring projects like this to even more cities throughout Alabama and beyond. Our goal is to continue serving communities, promoting equality, and helping ensure that everyone has access to the resources and support they need. Finally, on behalf of All the Same Alabama and Project Pulmonary, I'd like to sincerely thank the mayor and each member of the City Council for partnering with us on this hydration drive. Your support makes this initiative possible, and we're grateful for the opportunity to work alongside your city and supporting the firefighters who work tirelessly to keep our communities safe. Thank you for your time and consideration. Thank you.
Thank you so much. We are so encouraged when our youth take upon themselves to provide us with servant leadership. And so we really want to thank you for providing these resources to our first responders. We know how important it is for all of us to hydrate. And so I'm just excited that you took upon yourselves to bring this opportunity to support those who provide service to us. So thank you so much. Wishing you a great school year, okay? Thank you.
Madam President, that concludes the mayor's report.
Thank you so much. At this time, councilors, we'll return back to our agenda, and at this time, we will consider the items that have been listed to be considered for consent.
Excuse me, Counselor, I'm
Yes,
sorry.
ma'am.
I have one item, announcement of the mayor's board appointments.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. This is just to announce that Mayor Wolfen has appointed 2 members to the Birmingham Airport Authority. These are actually reappointments. The first person is Jennifer Reed Egby. The other is R. Ashby Pate, and both of their terms will be expiring July 29th, 2032.
Thank you so much. Councilors, if you will note those appointments that have been made by Mayor Whiffen to the Airport Authority, we congratulate these members for being reappointed and for the service they'll provide to the city. Yes. And we have presentations? I'm so sorry. Before we go to the rest of our agenda at this time, if we'll ask for unanimous consent to have the following presentations. And first, I'll start with Councilor Brian Guns. Thank you, Councilor Gunn. And he has 2 presentations for us.
Good morning, everyone. One of the things that I believe is super important as a city councilor is that we don't just recognize accomplishments, but we recognize the people behind those accomplishments. So today I would like to bring up Shannon Malcolm and anyone that is with her. Come up to the podium. No? Today, we're honoring someone whose story is one of resilience, perseverance, and service. Shannon Malcolm's impact has been felt not only here in our city, but now across the country. Shannon has been selected as one of only 3 recipients nationwide of the Fair Housing Champion Award by the National Association of Realtors. That's an incredible honor, and it's one that reflects not only her professional excellence, but her heart for service and community. At this time, I'd like to read a portion of a resolution from the City Council to Shannon, and then after that, I will allow Shannon to provide remarks. So, whereas is the custom of this legislative body to take note and publicly acknowledge individuals who have distinguished themselves through their exemplary roles of service to the community and the city of Birmingham. The Council of the City of Birmingham is justly proud to recognize, commend them for their impact they have made in our city. Shannon Malcolm, whose leadership and service strengthen our neighborhoods, expand opportunities for our residents, and exemplify the very best of the Magic City. Whereas the National Association of Realtors recognized Shannon Malcolm for her outstanding leadership in fair housing advocacy, education, and community engagement, and for her unwavering commitment to ensuring that every individual is treated with dignity and afforded equal opportunity in housing. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Council of the City of Birmingham, with Mayor Randall L. Woodfin concurring, pauses in its deliberations to congratulate Shannon Malcolm for being named one of only 3 recipients nationwide of the 2026 Fair Housing Champion Award presented by the National Association of Realtors, and commends her for her exemplary leadership, resilience, advocacy, and unwavering dedication to expanding fair housing and equal opportunity. Be it further resolved that we express our sincere gratitude to Shannon Malcolm for her dedication, service to the citizens of Birmingham, her steadfast advocacy on behalf of fair housing and inclusive communities, and for bringing national recognition to the Magic City through her example of leadership, perseverance, and public service. Adopted this 28th day of July, 2026, at the recommendation of Councilor Brian Gunn. I ask for unanimous consent.
All in favor, let it be known by saying aye. All opposed?
Move for the resolution.
All in favor, let it be known by saying aye. All opposed?
Shannon, the floor is yours.
Good morning, everyone. I want to begin by saying thank you. Receiving the 2026 Fair Housing Champion recognition is an incredible honor and one that I'm deeply humbled to accept. People often see the finished product, a beautifully renovated home, a family moving into their dream house, or a neighborhood beginning to thrive again. But what they don't always see are the years of believing in a community when others had given up on it or didn't know what to do with it. Almost 14 years ago, we started buying properties in historic Norwood, not because it was the easy choice, not because it was an easy choice, but because we saw potential where others saw problems. We believed every home deserved another chance, and more importantly, every family deserved the opportunity to live in a safe, beautiful community that they could be proud to call home. Over the years, we have renovated more than 50 homes throughout historic Norwood, but this recognition isn't really about houses, it's about people. Fair housing means creating opportunity. It means treating every person with dignity, respect, and equality. It means believing that where someone comes from should never determine where they're allowed to go. It means opening doors, not just literally, but figuratively, for families who are building wealth, creating memories, and changing the trajectory of future generations. For me, this work is deeply personal. I know what it feels like to need a second chance. I know what restoration looks like because I've lived it. That's why restoring neighborhoods has never just been a business for us, it's been a calling. I want to thank everyone who believes the importance of fair housing. Thank you to our community partners, our fellow realtors, our clients, and to the residents of historic Norwood who welcomed us and allowed us to be part of the neighborhood story. Our work isn't finished. There are still properties waiting to be restored, neighborhoods needing transformation, and families searching for opportunity and communities that deserve to be invested in. I hope this recognition reminds all of us that changing a neighborhood doesn't always begin with a multi-million-dollar development. Sometimes it begins with one family, one act of faith, one home, and one decision to believe that something broken can be made beautiful again. Thank you.
So thank you, Shannon, so much for all the work that you've done as a resident of the city of Birmingham and continuing to improve the Magic City. But I also want to thank you as a resident of District 4. So thank you so much for your work. All right.
Thank you.
All right, the next up, we will have Birmingham Sister Cities. Can I get them to come to the podium? Every chance I get, I want to make sure that I take a moment to recognize and celebrate the incredible opportunities our Birmingham City School students have. A lot of times we don't talk about these opportunities compared to their peers in other communities across the city of Birmingham. So I would like to have Marie come up and talk about this. Jennifer, both of you can come up and talk about the opportunities.
I told her, like, you've got to be here with me. She is definitely heading up this effort. Hello, distinguished counselors, Madam President. Thank you, Counselor Gunn, for having us. We are Birmingham Sister Cities. We are your volunteers on behalf of the city of Birmingham, exploring international, global relationships with multiple cities around the city of Birmingham. We just went to a conference and learned more about this organization and truly are the most enthusiastic we've ever been. This is peace through people and global connection. And we cannot wait to send this new group of students. That's what we're here today. These wonderful scholars just attended Miles, and thanks to the City of Birmingham City Schools, Miles College, Links, and Sister Cities, these students will be going to embrace global citizen diplomacy in Wales. And if you recall, Wales in their community in 1963 took up a collection around their community to raise money to replace the stained glass window in 16th Street Baptist Church. We have a friendship pact and celebrated that 2 years ago with Mayor Woodfin and counselors. And then last year we celebrated the 60th year of the installation, where John Pett's son, Mick Petts, saw the window for the first time. And it was just a beautiful celebration. So we're excited to send these students to learn more about Wales and then come back and tell us all about it. Thank you to T. Marie King, Justina Howard, Gwen Amamu, and the entire Sister Cities Commission who supports these transactions. Thank you, City of Birmingham. And now we'll introduce our beautiful students.
Hi, my name is Ayana Bishop, and I come from Huffman High School.
Perfect.
Hello, good morning. My name is Madison Major, and I attend Ramsey IB High School.
Good morning, City Council. My name is Jeremiah Ware. I attend Huffman High School.
Good morning. My name is Tanaya Gardner. I attend GW Carver High School.
Good morning. My name is Shaquila Comack, and I attend George Washington Carver High School.
Good morning. My name is Valeria Ward, and I attend George Washington Carver High School.
Good morning. My name is Kennedy Jones, and I attend George Washington Carver High School.
Good morning. My name is Raymond Young, and I am a senior at Jackson Nolan High School.
Good morning. My name is Usman Diallo, and I go to DPD Jackson Nolan High School.
All right, thank you all so much. And I just want to remind my colleagues that this is something that we should all be proud of. It's a reminder that when we invest in our young people, we're investing in the future of our city. These students are serving as ambassadors for Birmingham, and I know they will represent us well, so thank you. That concludes my presentation.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Councilor Gunn, for presenting this group to us. To Jennifer, T. Marie, and the students, we're very excited for the opportunity that you have. We thank Sister Cities for what they've been doing. I don't know how many years. Did you say that they've been? Nice. Wonderful. So thank you all so much. We wish you safe travel and just great representation for the city of Birmingham. Thank you. And T. Marie was my classmate at Leadership Birmingham. 2023, best class ever. Thank you. All right. Well, we'll continue with presentations, and we have joint presentation by Councilor Crystal Smitherman and Councilor Darrell O'Quinn.
Thank you, Madam President. Would the members of the Yonder Walls organization come up to the podium right here? I don't know if they're here. They are? Okay. I looked the wrong way. And they'll be able to talk about this more. Councilor O'Quinn and I are supporting them. They are having a mural festival, which is a first of its kind in Alabama. It's a large-scale public art and music festival taking place on October 17th in the Birmingham's Parkside District. So they're going to talk to us a little bit about their organization and this festival. And we all know Hunter as well, who's a developer here in Birmingham. So take it away.
Hey, y'all. Thanks for having us. Thank you, city councilors, for taking the time to hear. Thank you.
Hit the silver button there, the little panel. And when you see the red light come on. Oh,
There it is.
There you go.
Okay. Thanks, everybody. Whew. So thank you for taking the time to hear about our event, which is happening October 17th at Urban Supply in Parkside. I'm just here to kind of give you guys an introduction about it. So I met these wonderful ladies who, with Sean Gilder, started an organization focused on bringing more public art to Birmingham, and I'm happy to help sponsor their festival, which will be here in Birmingham, and it'll be one of the largest installations of public art in one place in Alabama. So I'm going to turn it over to them to talk to you guys about what their plans are.
Good morning, City Council. My name is Levi, like the jeans.
And I'm Jordan, like the shoes.
We are Bendinese Design Company out of Birmingham. We are a mural installation and sign painting business, and then we are the co-founders of Yonder Walls Mural Festival. So basically, we got into a mural festival out of Oklahoma in 2022, and it changed our lives. It was truly like the most magical experience we had ever had. We got to paint next to folks that had 500,000 followers and learn from folks that have been doing this all over the country, really internationally. And so we asked the festival what they were doing and if we could join the team. And we spent the last 4 years working on this mural festival out of Oklahoma to learn exactly how they were doing this. They were on average putting up like $250,000 to $350,000 worth of art in a week and dropping it in these cities. And as cliche as it was truly transformative. And so seeing this happen over and over, we were like, what is y'all's secret? So we joined the team. Jordan was the production lead and the development lead. We helped to fundraise over $375,000 that went directly back to artists in Oklahoma. And so, yeah, we are trying to bring this to Birmingham and make it feel like it is Birmingham's own festival. And so basically some issues that we're trying to resolve. There's been over $300,000 in the last 15 to 18 months that have gone to artists out of state. And so we are really trying to let folks know that we have creative talent here within Alabama. We don't have to hire artists out of state. And one of the reasons I think that's happening is because we don't typically get to showcase our talent as artists. Most of the time, the murals that we get from clients, we are given like a branding package, we're given their message, and you know, as artists, we're told you have to make your piece of art around our message, and so we just don't have full autonomy, which therefore we don't know the talent that we have in the state. So we are highlighting specifically 75% artists from Alabama. 25% of our walls we're saving for first-time muralists, for folks that are trying to break into the industry. And then we've secured 26 walls all within the same block. So it's going to be a massive, the largest concentration of public art that will happen in Alabama to date. As of right now, we've received 60% of our final budget with financial support. Our title sponsor is Alabama Power. We've received Mike and Jillian Goodrich Foundation grant. We have a few other pending grants. And then, of course, we've received our walls from Hunter here. We've got in-kind donations from the Birmingham Museum of Art, Rev Beham, Good People, Culture City, Beham Now, WBRC. The Birmingham Museum of Art is going to host our kids zone on the day of the festival. The festival is going to be similar to the Block and Bloom party that happened, so it's going to be just a massive celebration, a lineup of music from noon until 8 p.m. We're going to have vendors, food trucks, and then the celebration of these 26 new large-scale murals that are going up. I know that's a lot of information. Do you have anything?
I think something that we noticed when thinking about bringing it back to Birmingham is just that this is kind of how all of our neighboring cities got all of their public art, is by doing these festivals. It just gives the city a huge discount to come in and decorate the walls. We've seen it done in Atlanta multiple times. They have so many festivals that they do year-round, and so that allows them to get these huge, massive murals for anywhere from like $4 to $5 to $6 a square foot, where if you were to ask me, Levi, a professional muralist in town, that starts at $25 a square foot. So you're already getting a huge discount. What we're doing is we're gonna try to meet in the middle, where we're gonna pay our artists $12 a square foot. So we're still kind of supporting the creative community that we have in town. We're kind of still giving them the paycheck that they need to be able to complete the project and to create quality work. So we're trying to sustain our creative community as a whole through this project.
And at $12 a square foot, that will put us at one of the highest, if not the highest paid mural festival in the country. So just as an example, Atlanta does not pay their artists at all. So we are trying to still support our creatives. Sorry to interrupt you.
No, you're good. Yeah, that's pretty, I mean, I feel like we covered most of it.
I would say outside of that, so throughout the year, outside of just the festival, we are going to have a mentorship program where we've have 16 to 19-year-old teens come out, and we get to partner them with a professional artist. So again, it just helps them get like career workforce engagement. We're going to have programming throughout the year. We've already done programming with Carver High School through the Birmingham Museum of Art, working with our ESL students. So this isn't just a one-time festival. It is an entire year of art engagement, art opportunities. We're just trying to create sustainability for the creatives we have here in Alabama.
We should also say that we're just starting in urban supply as like a jumping off point. We already have so much economic development happening over there. There's already the walkability. So we're doing this as a huge, like, we can do it Birmingham, and then we want to travel to our other neighborhoods in town. So we want to continue doing this year by year, a yearly festival, and stay in Birmingham, but travel to our different neighborhoods so we can continue to cover the city in art.
Yeah, the last two things I'll say, in Oklahoma, the last year that we did this, because we saved 25% of our walls for first-time artists, we had a 67-year-old woman paint her first mural, and to see that happen, she was a fine artist but had never had that opportunity. It changed her life. So again, we are just trying to bring these opportunities to our Alabama creatives.
Well, thank you so much. Also, again, to Councilor Quinn and Councilor Smitherman for bringing them. I know, Councilor Quinn, you probably have some comments as well.
Yeah, I'm really excited about this. I'm thinking back to days when I was still a young counselor. One of the first projects that I did was a mural project with a local artist. It was a public participation thing where folks came and we had paint for them, and it was a bit of an experiment, but I have some memories from that will, last forever. And so, the other thing that I'm thinking about is how murals specifically have transformed, sort of forgotten spaces throughout the city. So I'm thinking specifically about the mural alley in Woodlawn, some abandoned buildings. There's, one on First Avenue North that was like a COVID, mural kind of thing. There's two gorgeous Flemish painting murals on Second Avenue, I believe, downtown. And just, a number of others that just take spaces that, are blank walls, and, create a reason for people to pause and appreciate, the place that they're in. So, I'm really excited about, that happening in the Parkside District, and it potentially, I'm gonna claim it, this is gonna be a hugely successful, project. And, I'm already thinking about, the future and this being able to move around the city and transform, spaces around the city. So, thank you for taking, the lessons that you've learned elsewhere and bringing them to Birmingham and really, doing the service, to the people of Birmingham and helping to transform the city.
Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you.
Thank you. As you all were presenting, I was thinking about, and some of my colleagues have been in attendance, we attend the Just Economy Conference that's a part of NCRC, the National Community Reinvestment Coalition. And one of the things is they highlight murals across the city. And I believe they've highlighted some that have been here in Birmingham. So I'm just excited that you all are bringing this into an even bigger fashion to the city. And I, again, thank my colleagues for making us aware of this. And I'm very hopeful, and I'm going to go out with Dr. O'Quinn and say that this is going to be a very big event. And so we really want everyone to learn that date again. Give us the date and the times.
Saturday, October 17th. It's the third Saturday in October.
All right, thank you. You're just ahead of classic, so you're not competing with that.
Yes.
So we'll be
very strategic.
Very, very good. But I do want to thank you. And again, we just know the importance of art. And as you said, it can revitalize the community. As I passed along the city and seen these murals, and to think that you're also bringing in local Alabama artists. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
Madam Pro Tem has
Thank you,
something to
Madam
say.
President. Thank you all. Grassroots organizing is so important. So a lot of times when you leave an area where you've grown up in and you have to go outside to learn what the collective has done and learn what not to do, and somebody's already done it and did all the work for you and bringing it back. I think people have a misconception a lot of times when you leave the city that we're bringing outsiders in. That's just not true. We're bringing the knowledge, back into the community. So Birmingham has a lot of creatives like Jamon Hill. Representative Hendricks just unveiled a mirror over in Ansley. One just got unveiled over on McHale Pine Rec Center. Then we have our very own Erica Chisholm, who works in community development.
She's on our board.
So I really appreciate all, and I'm gonna join forces, because when two or three come together, it happens. So I'm gonna join forces with my colleague. Thank Councilor Smitherman and Councilor O'Quinn for lifting this up, because I can see it, the transformation taking place all over the city. And just come on over there to North Birmingham.
Listen, we had to create an application in our Oklahoma Festival because we were having Main Street programs reaching out saying, if you guarantee to come here next, we'll match $100,000, because we travel to new cities all across Oklahoma. So that's our goal, is to bring it to the 99 neighborhoods of Birmingham. So yes, thank y'all so much for your time. We will email y'all our presentation and our sponsorship package just so you have an idea of where all we are.
Thank you.
Okay, thank y'all so much for your time.
Yeah, just briefly, thank you, Hunter, for the introduction. I'm really excited. I remember the initial meeting when you guys told us about this festival, and it's so important that we support our arts. I do remember being younger and going, I think Sauce Furnace still has it, where you had the ability to paint, look at different artists' work. And so I love the workforce development part. One of my close college friends went to art school, is now a director of a museum. People don't realize it's much more than just painting. And so, I think a lot of us support the arts. With me, with You Speak, and Council Smith, she's not here, with her Bloom on the Block. And so I appreciate you all for what you do, especially bringing something big to Alabama and replicating it. And I think a lot of good things are really coming out of Alabama. So colleagues, Daryl and I, or Councilor O'Quinn and I, I are sponsoring it. If you guys want to join us, I really think it's great. So I look forward to October 17th. I'm excited in District 6 first too as well. Thank you.
Thank y'all so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much. At this time, councilors, we will return back to our agenda, and we will entertain the consideration of items for consent. All items designated as consent are considered to be routine and non-controversial and will be approved by one motion. No separate discussion of these items will be permitted unless a council member, the mayor, or a citizen interested in a public hearing so requests. If so, such items will revert to its normal place on the agenda order of business. All matters of permanent operation, they're indicated with a capital P, will be read. All other matters will be announced by reading the item number only. All public hearings will be announced. This time, Madam Clerk, if you'll give us the items that are being considered for consent.
Yes, ma'am. The consent agenda begins on page 2 with items 1, 2, 3, and 4. Page 3, items 5, 6, and 7. Page 4, item 8 and 11. Page 5, items 12, 13, and 14. And on item 14, at the line second from the bottom, please note that that should be June 30th, 2027, and not 2026. Page 6, we have items 15, 16, 17, and 18. Please note that items 16 and 17 were also recommended by the Transportation and Infrastructure Committee. On page 7, we have items 19, 20, 21. On page 8, we have items 23, 24, and 25. On 23, please note that this is not a hearing of interested parties, so we're going to strike off that wording on item 23. On page 9, we have items 26, 27, 28, 29. Page 10, we have items 30, 31, 32, and 33. Page 11, items 34, 35, 36, 37. Page 12, items 38, 39, 40, and 41. Page 13, items 42, 43, and 44. Page 14, we have items 45, 46, 47, and 48. Page 15, we have items 49, 50, 51, and 52. Page 16, we have items 53, 54, 55, and 56, and that completes the consent agenda.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Councilors, are there any items at this time you'd like to have added or removed from consent?
Yes, Madam President.
Yes, Councilor Smitherman?
I would like to take off consent items 12, 13 on page 5, item 15 on page 6. I think that's it.
Okay, that request by Councilor Smitherman was to remove items 12 and 13 from consent on page 5 and item 15 on page 6.
Yes.
Any other items, councilors? All right, at this time, we'll entertain a motion and a second.
Okay. And the vote has started. Okay, that vote should be up.
All right, thank you. Those items that were considered for consent have been approved. And if you're here for any of those items, we will continue with the rest of our agenda. Madam Clerk, I would like to go out of order, and I'd like for you to bring up item number 15 first, please, on page 6.
Okay. Item 15, page 6. A resolution approving and authorizing the mayor to execute an opioid abatement provider agreement with Urban Alchemy through the opioid abatement program to provide the Birmingham Oasis open, accessible, safe, inviting spaces, a fixed location, outdoor respite site designed to engage individuals at highest risk of opioid overdose. Staffed by Urban Alchemy practitioners with lived experience and trained in harm reduction, the Oasis offers low barrier access to hydration, snacks, Narcan, care coordination, and supportive engagement. The site includes shaded or heated infrastructure depending on season, public bathrooms, dog park for guests with pets, and consistent daily operations, open 12 to 14 hours per day, 7 days a week for a term of 12 months for an amount not to exceed $600,000.
And Madam Clerk and councilors, we could also consider item 12 along with item 15. So Madam Clerk, if you read item 12 as well on page 5.
Item 12 on page 5 is a resolution approving and authorizing the mayor to execute a ground lease agreement between Daniels Development Group LLC and the City of Birmingham, under which Daniels Development Group LLC will lease approximately .21 acres located at 600 3rd Avenue North, Birmingham, Alabama 35203, to be used by the Department of Unhoused Strategies as an outdoor respite for unhoused residents of the city for a term of 3 years, subject to appropriation by council at a rental fee of $1,388.89 per month for a total amount not to exceed $50,000.
All right, thank you. Can we have a motion on those two items so we can get those presented? No, we don't need unanimous consent. We just need a motion for both items so that we can consider them, just to bring
Yes,
them
ma'am.
up. So I have a motion. Do I have a second? Second. Thank you. All right, councilors, these two items are regarding a resolution authorizing the mayor to execute an agreement for Urban Alchemy to provide this Oasis project. And Councilor Smithman, you asked that we move this from consent. Would you like to go ahead and have the administration to provide an explanation, or did you have a question?
Yes, any presentation on it as well.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Presentation.
Good morning, Madam President. Good morning to the entire council. It's good to see everybody. As Ms. Elena Melton and her team and any other presenters with her make their way up, I just wanted to set a frame of what you'll hear this morning. As you know, this conversation is not new. A few months back, we had a conversation about Oasis, the why of that, the use of opioid funding, et cetera, et cetera. Post your vote as we continue to move forward. Things didn't work in the direction we thought for that actual site. We actually feel that was a blessing in disguise, and it's allowed us to go back to the drawing board, spend a significant amount of time of just starting over, as well as taking feedback from you all from the last presentation related to this topic, which included public safety. It also included sanitation and how we would keep the site clean, as well as management of the site as well. All these things were taken into consideration. So from our internal teams and partners to our external partners, this has been a very intentional process of how we got here today. We had the opportunity to present to the Budget and Finance yesterday because part of this is approval is for funding, and of course, the funding source is the opioid settlement. Legal can answer any questions related to the use of those funds. They're no different than last time, so the same legal threshold holds a few months later. But I do, as I yield the mic, I do want to set the frame of the why this is important, and just a refresher. No different than housed residents have spaces and places that they hang out. Our unhoused residents have places and spaces that they hang out as well. They tend to be on public right-of-way. They tend to be in front of small businesses, and they tend to be in other places. And while we receive all type of calls for services, we feel that, like other cities have done, creating a daytime shelter, a place for unhoused residents, gives us a couple things. One, it actually gives unhoused residents an actual place. Two, it's what can happen here to build rapport, to build trust, to get unhoused residents to actual service providers. Walking up to them, walking up to an unhoused resident simply on a corner or a street doesn't necessarily give you immediate access or trust to get them to open up. But if you can create a space and provide services, create a space that's very intentional about sobriety, then you start to build the rapport you need to get residents, unhoused residents, to the actual services that they need. And so we have a presentation. It'll probably be a minimum of 7-8 minutes. And then we can open it up for questions from the council. Ms. Melton.
Thank you, Ms. Melton.
Thank you, Madam President, members of the council. Thank you, Mr. Mayor, for that wonderful introduction. I'm Elena Melton, and I serve as the Director of Unhoused Strategies here for the city. And we're here, as the mayor said, to talk about the Oasis, the operational agreement, as well as the land lease. And just a couple points to make. We're joined by a whole host of folks. We have some of the Urban Alchemy team, Artie Gilbert, Director of Operations in the chamber, but also their leadership is on with us virtually. Mr. Marcus Daniels, the property owner, who's allowing us to potentially lease the spaces, joining us virtually. We have a host of providers, Ms. Kelly Green with Food for Our Journey. We have Ms. Sherry Brave from First Light joining us, and also Nicole Boomhover, and forgive me if that's anyone I forgot. On yesterday, we were also joined by Gordon Sullivan, who leads our continuum of care, and he could not make it today. Just a couple of notes. Also, leading into this project, we did do some community engagement, especially we really spent time around the sites, right, the church located close, and the way station, who also couldn't join us, but who sent a letter of support today. I think that's really important to note. We've also been going around the perimeter. The HEART team has already started cleaning and engaging and letting folks know this is not a place to linger, in hopes that we can get folks used to services being in the area. So what is the Oasis? It's a day shelter that's been said over and over again. It's an outdoor day space that'll operate from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m., 7 days a week. It's a place where folks experiencing homelessness can go to just be and exist, as the mayor said. It's a place to connect with services and providers. We'll talk about that more in a moment. It's a place for outreach beyond this location, a place where our service providers can establish community. And I just want to park there for a moment. Urban Alchemy is on the agenda as the operator, but this contract is bigger than this one space, and it's bigger than Urban Alchemy. This contract is how do we all rally together to help our community. So they'll operate the space and keep it clean and safe, but they've already started outreach to other agencies to say that this is a safe space for all of our agencies. We've heard the cries of where do people go when we close, but I want to park and say, one, we're working on that coordination. Additionally, it's a place for people to go when the shelters close in the daytime too. I don't think we talk enough about where do people go when the shelters close. So it is an answer for the daytime activities. And then lastly, the Oasis is a place of engagement. Research shows that it takes well over 20 touches for a person experiencing chronic homelessness to take any one service. And so by having a space that people can go every day and seeing the same people, we hope that we escalate getting those 20 touches and hopefully getting people housed sooner. One of the charges the mayor gave us with the funding that you guys approved was that all roads, that everything that we do need to end in housing or getting people housed. And Oasis will be that place, one place. Not the only place. It's just a tool in the toolbox. It does not discredit the amazing work that's being done already by our providers. We just want to do it in concert with them and give them another tool in the toolbox. I want to talk a little bit about why Urban Alchemy as the operator. Almost a year ago now, you guys approved the use of $1.5 million in opioid settlement funds. During that time, you guys approved us funding agencies like Firehouse and 4-H, Love Lady, the Reentry Alliance, and others. This was one of the contracts in that list. You guys challenged us, and we've made some changes, and we've revamped. We do have a little synopsis of what those agencies that we did fund, what they've been doing over the past several months. You should have a copy, but just in case, we're going to provide some more copies of that. Also, we chose them as a provider. Actually, a separate panel I was not a part of chose the agencies that we recommended to be funded. They were the only agency that submitted for a day shelter, a space like this, and it was an answer to some of the challenges that we've seen, the complaints we've gotten from businesses, house residents, you all, why are people just hanging out at the gas station? So we hope this will be an answer. We also want to have an answer for folks who say, I don't want people lingering in front of my business. We hope that the business community will see that this is a step toward us supporting economic development as well. So why this site? This site, located at 600 3rd Avenue North, it's right behind the waste station, another project that you guys allowed us to invest in with capital funding. It's about 2 blocks from the firehouse shelter, and that's why this site. The mayor referenced it's an answered prayer because the previous site meant folks leaving those 2 shelters had to walk a considerable distance. And so now they don't. When the shelters close at day, they have a place to go that's safe, that's very close to them. But also it's important to note, and Mr. Daniels is on if there are questions for him, when he heard about the last project, he reached out to us. And I tell you, nothing feels better than being wanted. When you represent the most vulnerable in our community, to have someone to reach out to you and help, or want to help every step of the way, that's been a welcome change. And then I want to talk a little bit about safety. One of the big questions that you guys had for us was how are we going to keep the site, the community, and the folks who come for services safe. And so we've had several meetings with our Birmingham Police Department, our chief, and our DC of Patrol, and I believe DC Bo Apple. He might have stepped away. I'll do the safety plan. So we've been talking to the police department and Urban Alchemy's team about what safety looks like. So on site, there will always be trauma-informed staff to help people who are in mental health crisis, experiencing homelessness, or quite frankly, just having the worst day of their lives, which is often where we meet people. We will have 24-hour surveillance and cameras and signage per the recommendation of our fire and police chiefs. We will have a blue light emergency phone. That'll be really important even when the shelter is not open. So now people in that area have a way, in a lot of our community, they don't have cell phones. When they need help, they can get help for free. We've talked a lot to the waste station about this being something for when their clients need help as well. And then the reason that we're here, to see a decrease in opioid use, deaths, and overdoses. So this will be a space that'll teach harm reduction. You'll see it on another slide. We have, a number of providers who will come and provide resources around opioid and substance use issues. And we've also partnered with some medical providers as well. Everyone who enters the space will have to sign in like any other shelter, and they will be asked to leave and or banned or permanently discharged depending on if there are any behavior issues. Next slide, please. So I want to talk about programming. Last time I stood before you, wraparound services was the #1 topic, and I'm really proud of how our community stepped up, how our team is led in this space. These are some pictures of some other OASIS that Urban Alchemy operates, and here are just some of the services. They will provide case management, but we're also providing licensed social workers that'll be there every day, Monday through Friday from 8 to 5, in addition to the Urban Alchemy staff. There'll be life skills, and I mentioned peer report recovery service. We will have ID cleaning. Right now, that's tentatively set to be once a month. Where do people keep their things, especially when they have doctor's appointments and interviews? We've talked to people, and I failed to mention this in our community engagement. Folks with lived experience have been very important to get their perspective. And they want lockers, a place to keep their stuff safe. They don't want to have to haul everything they own into their important meetings. There will be a public restroom. People don't have to use the restroom outside. They'll have a place to handle their personal business with dignity. There also will be meal services. Food for Our Journey will deliver meals twice a day. There will be a dog park, a safe space where folks can bring their pets, and smoking will be allowed. A lot of these things seem like simple pleasures that we enjoy, but if you're unhoused, a lot of these things are just not easily accessible to you. So on the next slide, we'll talk a little bit more about the specific, and I won't read this, you guys already have it. These are all of the providers who have said they will provide some service. And on the next slide, it's the calendar. So this calendar is how every month will look. We have almost the same number of providers that was on the previous slide that we've started having conversation with. And I want to be real clear. We're not asking providers to do anything that costs them a dime or additional resources. We're simply saying if the OASIS is for everyone, it's for everyone. Is there a service that you already offer that you need a space for? Is there a service that needs to be remote? Or is there a service you think we're missing and you already have the capacity to do? And that's how we build this list. And so then I want to talk a little bit about funding. It's already been well stated that the primary funding source for this is the opioid settlement funds for the operating agreement. I do want to make one note. The $50,000 for the ground lease is coming out of general funds. Per the recommendation of our city attorney's office and outside counsel, it was not a good use to an allowed use to purchase or lease property using a settlement fund. So we're looking to do that out of the general fund. So the total investment for this first year would be $850,000. Approximately $200,000 will be for capital investments. Everything on the site will be removable. The most expensive capital investment will be the fence around the property. We've obtained the permission of the property owner. The fencing will be a little bit more expensive because of the location. We're only zoned for a very specific type of fence. The other capital improvement would include the lighting, bollards, because there was a safety concern on the 3rd Avenue side of the property. We don't want any cars to jump the curb or injure anyone. And then the emergency phone. Again, as the mayor has stated, the use of opioid settlement funds for the operations is an allowable use, and it has been approved by our council and outside council. As it regards to ongoing sustainability, our thought is after a year, this is funded for a year, and we have proof of concept, we we would be proud to come back to you guys and say, hey, this is something we want to continue. Equally, we'll be honest if it doesn't work. We also hope that the burden lifted off of the private sector will be tremendous, and maybe this is an opportunity for public-private partnership. I do want to note and thank Councilor O'Quinn for challenging me yesterday to talk a little bit more about the cost of homelessness. We don't talk about it enough, but we immediately start pulling, how can we quantify how much it costs for those 911 calls that dispatch police and fire. We have been working with the police department and Urban Alchemy's Heart team, our 311 team and 911 to find out how much we have saved by sending Heart in as opposed to police and fire. So that's a work in progress. But also, how many times do we pull a DPW crew from their sites because we closed an encampment and now we need to clear it? Or people just moved on and they left their things. So how do we begin to talk about the cost of homelessness? And while I don't have that number, I'm fairly certain that $600,000 for a year, 7 days a week, 12 hours a day, pales in comparison. So thank you, Counselor, for that challenge. And so lastly, we had a timeline. It's real quick. We hope to, pending what happens today, begin securing the space, acquiring the fencing and the lighting with the goal of opening the space early fall. If I have even 30 seconds of all the people that are here with me, there is one young lady I would love for you guys to hear from, and that's Christy Payne. And her words will be the last words. Hearing her talk about the need for a space like this helps me get the courage to stand before a crowd like this. So I yield to Miss Kirsty, Payne.
Hello, how are you guys doing? I'm nervous, I'm sorry. Yeah, the Oasis has really helped me out. You guys, you know, I didn't ask to be homeless. I didn't wake up and want to be this way. I get up every day, try to go to work. It's hard out here. Not having a place to go take a shower and worrying about where you're going to, get the sweaty off of you. Different things. What's people going to think if I go into work and I got the same clothes on? Where do I wash? What do I do? That's a lot of mental exhaustion. And having to run around Birmingham to try to find somewhere to go get these things done. I get off work sometimes 4, sometimes 6. There's nowhere to take a shower. You have to go into a bathroom just to wipe off. I mean, that's embarrassing. It's really downgrading. It makes you less of a person, makes you feel that. But, I still try to hold my head up and I keep going. There's different places that I went trying to get help, to get housing. You can't do it when you're trying to come up. I mean, you can't just, it's hard out here mentally. Thank you.
Thank you, Kirsty. And with that, I'll yield the floor. I will note that DC Boakle is in the back if there, I know there were questions before about safety.
Madam President,
Thank you, Ms. Melton. Mayor Woodfin.
I think at this time, for the remaining part of what's needed from the administration, we can engage through question and answer form.
Yes, thank you very much. First, I'll start with Councilor Smitherman, since you asked this to be removed.
Is her name Kirsten?
Kirsty.
Kirsty. She referred to the Oasis, so is it open now? Where's she taking a shower now?
She's been having to go other places. I think what she was trying to say, I want to speak for. Oh, Urban Alchemy has been helping you.
Yeah, the
Urban Alchemy, okay, that's good.
The heart.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah,
Okay.
they've been helping me out, with like clothing, different things, It's been hard out here, really.
Yes, ma'am. And I thank you for your bravery for giving your testimony today. I know that took a lot. And I really thank you for still keep moving forward with finding a job, trying to find housing. I really appreciate you, honestly. So I guess my first question is, have you spoken to the neighborhood association about this?
I have not. We have asked to get on the next agenda. And to be honest, because it wasn't residential, we focused on the businesses and everybody around. And in conversation last week, we actually started reaching out to get on the next agenda, just so they know what's going on and they ask their questions as well.
Okay, so that's interesting because that's kind of out of order, because usually when we get projects, the neighborhood association is spoken to first and then it's given to us.
We didn't do that for Central City, did we?
We probably should have.
Well, actually, something of this nature, to communicate with them is fine, but it doesn't require their approval as it relates to the purchase of, the leasing of actual land for an oasis. There's literally nothing residential around here. It doesn't mean that we're not gonna talk to them, but this is no different than what y'all voted on last time. We didn't engage Central City neighborhood either.
Well, I'm not talking about item 12, I'm talking about item 15, just the programming and the activity of it, because it still affects them. That's like saying people who live in apartment complexes don't interact with all types of residents. I'm not asking this to be combative, I'm just asking a question. I just think it was warranted to go to them first before y'all came to us. But I do have other questions too. Where would individuals go when the Oasis is closed?
Yes, so we are gonna start we began talking to the shelters in the area so that we can coordinate. Here's the thing. The Oasis will be occupied by human beings who will have choice, and we will make every attempt when it closes to give them to shelter. We've been talking to Urban Alchemy team about, before they close, like, let's know when every shelter closes, what's their process, and let's try to get people help. However, it's just like when the shelter closes in the daytime, if they don't come to us, we can't make them go to us and take the resources, but we will make every attempt, which is why we wanted to put the licensed social workers on the property so they could work with folks every day and literally walk through their housing plan. Because maybe emergency shelter is not for them. Maybe they need something more long-term, and so we will be able to walk with them consistently through their housing process.
So will we provide transportation for them to go to those particular shelters?
The HART does already offer transportation, so that is absolutely an option.
Okay, I know you're on work with the other shelters, but if I remember correctly, a lot of them don't have space for a lot of individuals and they turn them away. So what's the alternative when that happens?
Honestly,
Well, that's just it. If the Oasis did not exist, the same question would happen. When shelters let out, this is two questions. When shelters let out in the morning, where do our unhoused residents go? Well, we know some of them go, they go all type of places. Well, in this case, the question's inverted. What happens at night? Some of them will go to shelters. Some of them don't want to go to shelters. Some shelters will be full and they will still need beds. But the truth is, the city of Birmingham is still working through that. I mean, there are literally not enough beds in our city. And I think in our time as a mayor and a council, we work to expand more beds, whether it's firehouse shelter or most recently with the Jimmy Hill mission. We continue to provide resources for additional beds, but I think we all know and can agree there are not enough beds. So we can't determine where everyone goes.
Okay. So.
Madam President, whoever is speaking, can you?
Yes, I was going to say, we are in the middle of a business meeting, and so if you would allow the council and the mayor and administration to conduct and have those conversations. Thank you. Thank you. No, sir, thank you.
Okay.
All right.
So how can we prevent tents from being on the Oasis and the surrounding area?
Yes. Tents is actually, we have a draft ordinance that we are continuing to engage council leadership when it's appropriate to present to the full body related to encampments citywide, whether it's our parks, city right-of-way, et cetera. I think on this site, it's easy. Like, it's the city of Birmingham site that we're leasing. The owner doesn't want tents on there. The service provider is not going to allow tents on there, so we'll just enforce no tents on the site. But anything adjacent or approximate to the site, I think if and when this ordinance exists, that's an additional tool we can use well beyond proximity of this site, citywide, particularly on our public right-of-way and our city parks.
Okay, because I believe, was it San Francisco that ended up with the problem with people having several hundreds of tents, and it got out of control to the point they couldn't manage it. So I just want to make sure that doesn't happen. I'm not saying it's going to happen. I just don't want this to happen. I guess I'll ask just a couple more. How will we measure the effectiveness of this project? What are our benchmarks for it?
So, great question. One, and you guys have received the year-to-date of the HART report, so we'll have something similar to this that Urban Alchemy provides. But also, again, going back to having case managers and social workers, we've asked for a report. And then the third is we want to particularly track any opioid-related activity. So did someone get treatment? How many times was Narcan, like, so our opioid outcomes will be a big part of that.
Okay, that's good. So how will we handle if, I know you have a certain amount of staffing and security, if we need to increase that because the numbers you thought would be on the Oasis increased, how will we address that problem for the need for more staffing?
So currently, the capacity is about 75. I think that's an issue that we have to look to address in the next fiscal year. It's just like any other shelter, our capacity will have to be our capacity based on what has been allocated right now.
Okay. And do we have any other existing day shelters in the city?
So yes, Pathways operates a day shelter for women. And then many other of our shelters, First Light has opportunities, Firehouse, for folks to come in. They operate, they have lunch and snacks, and there are times where people can take showers, but not a prolonged day shelter. And then we also have 3 days a week with Faith Chapel Care Center.
Okay, so it's not something like a prolonged day shelter. Okay, that's a little bit
Not
helpful.
currently. Oh, and I failed to mention, Church of the Reconciler also opens a day shelter 4 days a week, and then us on Sundays for service.
Okay, and you said there's a representative for Food for Our Journey, is that correct? Okay, I also have a just concern with them because this is over more in District 6 than District 3. I know they service food over near Brother Bryant Park, and et cetera, and I've gotten complaints ever since I've been in the office about Food for Journey servicing the residents, which there's nothing wrong with that, but what happens afterwards, there's trash, et cetera. How will we make sure that doesn't happen over here on the Oasis as well?
So, well, I'll answer the first part, and then I'll let her address the site. There is a separate drafted ordinance that we would love the council to entertain as well, but we will move at this
We
speed.
haven't talked about it publicly. You can go on.
No need.
That wasn't towards you.
I can't hear you.
That wasn't towards you.
No worries.
Okay, so we do have a draft to help that out. Okay. I just know we haven't talked about it yet. That's why I asked.
But the
about
draft
Journey.
does exist, so we know that this is something we've been considering as a council.
Okay.
But go ahead, Mayor and Councilor, thank you.
Ms. Milton.
So at other Oasis sites that Urban Alchemy operates, and this also gets to one of your earlier questions. They take care of the property around their property. So as part of the community engagements, one of the pastors in the conversation talks about people not only loitering, but trashing the church parking lot. So they've already been in and around there, starting to pick up litter, engaging folks, letting them know, like, you got to clean these spaces. And so that's the same thing. People will need to eat inside the Oasis and throw their trash away inside the Oasis. And I will say that's one of the really cool things about having a space like this is that it gives operators like Kelly a dedicated space to go and know that it'll be clean when they're done.
Okay. And I want to thank both you and Mayor Woodfin for answering my questions. I do think, this is a good idea to have a prolonged day shelter. Just being a business owner downtown, I do interact a little bit more with our unhoused residents. I see them in need, ask for food, asking for help. And, I think having a space for them and a safe space, making sure it's safe, I think will just kind of reduce any concerns we've seen with business owners having them in their doorway. And a lot of times they're just trying to cool down or trying to find a safe space to sleep as well. So I think that's all of my questions. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next, Councilor Williams.
Thank you, Madam President. Thank you, Ms. Felton, for your presentation. The second time that we tried to do this, y'all provided a staffing matrix for us. Is that something that you have, that you could provide?
We can that part did not change, but we'll resend that. There will be 4 practitioners per shift. And additionally, and DC Boaco talked about this a little bit, engaging our CSOs, and we will also provide a licensed social worker. So that's 6 people at all times, in addition to those folks providing the programming that we mentioned.
Well, now, remember last time it did not have a licensed social worker or.
It did not.
And it did not, and and the name practitioner means what?
That is the name for their staff, for Urban Alchemy staff. The licensed social worker is not coming from their staff. Yes, we've been working with this, to build this up as a community resource. So this will not be, it's not a part of the contract. This is a totally separate social worker that will dedicate in this space.
And where is that headcount coming from?
Everything else in the headcount is coming from the staffing plan that we presented to you guys, but we'll resend that.
And then where's the social worker coming from?
So, again, as a part of a safety plan, we have dedicated police officers who engage folks experiencing homelessness. We're also working to put social workers with them who are trauma-informed, who can handle the severely mentally ill. And so they will have a shift at the Oasis.
Okay, so it's coming from BPD's budget then?
No, it's not coming from BPD's budget.
Where is the social worker headcount coming from?
So we've been, I don't know, Olivia, I'm allowed to say, but in partnership with the health department, as a part of this team, we've been bringing a grant for social workers and peer support, so folks with lived experience with opioid addictions. We have an MOU between our office, the police department, and the health department to put folks in the spaces where we know they're needed in the community.
Okay, so they'll be coming from the health department?
Correct.
The social worker, okay. And then the staffing matrix that we got previously, so we're using the name practitioner. What qualifications do those people have?
I think that's a question for the Urban Alchemy team, if there's a way to, I don't know who might want to take that question.
I see we have someone on the screen.
Madam President, could you, share with those on the screen to speak to that question or repeat the question for them?
Yes, thank you very much. Are you all able to hear us? I know you're on the screen. Do we have someone? I think everybody seems to be muted. We do have one that's unmuted. If you will ask the question again, Ms. Melton or Counselor Williams.
Yeah, sure. So the staffing matrix indicates that there are practitioners. Practitioner indicates a degree and a licensing. What is the degree in licensing that the practitioners have to handle specific, since this is opioid money?
And we see on the screen is FM, which gives some indication of who's responding.
Madam President,
Yes, Mayor Whitman.
I get it. I think most of us tend to isolate the word practitioner to license, but it's not, there's a conjunction and that's the word or. It's also a specialized skill that I don't have, that they have, not only from lived experience, but actually being on the ground, being trained in this work, and then years of experience actually engaging those who are in the house. So I just want to make that clear. Practitioner is not isolated to an actual license. It also means a specialized skill.
Okay, thank you. All right, that is all the questions I have. You know, I still have the same concern over the use of opioid money for this. And this is a question, I guess that's all the questions I have about the operations of it. I will say this, the first time and second time that this was presented to us, there seemed to be what I would consider an extreme lack of wraparound services. This third time that it's been presented does actually have an indication of some wraparound services. If the staffing matrix remains the same from the second presentation, then I still have concerns over the staffing matrix. But that's fine. Those are my concerns. As y'all know, I don't feel like this is appropriate use of taxpayer dollars. But my question over the opioid settlement money is the Attorney General's office indicated to all municipalities that they should submit their proposed use and active use of opioid settlement money to the Attorney General's office. Is that something that we have done for this project?
So yes, in general, we have submitted what these funds will be used for. And as I went over with you all, those approved uses, this is in alignment with those approved uses.
No, I just asked about if we've submitted it. I don't know if it's approved. So are you saying the Attorney General's office came back and indicated it was an approved use?
So based off of what we did present to the Attorney General's office, we did receive the funding through the settlement litigation.
Gotcha. Okay, thank you. All right, thank you. And thank you, Elena. I appreciate it very much.
All right, thank you. Counselor Vasa?
Thank you, Madam President. 3 questions, 2 related to the budget. Director, hello. Thanks for the presentation. Could you explain where the budget for the build-out will come from. As I understand, there's $200,000 that will be a capital investment. Can you speak to this funding source on that?
Sure, we've been working with the Office of Capital Projects to do that.
Funding, but your question is the funding source. It's out of the general fund from this year's budget that started July 1 with $3 million for unhoused strategies.
Okay. Thank you for that. And then I did hear your point about year-to-year funding for sustainability, that this $600,000 per year, if found effective, given metrics and outcomes, et cetera, that it could be something that could be funded year to year outside of just receiving public funding. Can you talk to us a little bit more of what public-private partnership might look like?
Yes, so in other cities, not necessarily Oasis, but other projects, when there's seemed to be a lift on the business sector, the private sector, they've gotten involved. It's cities like Philadelphia, for example, the local downtown business community has been very active in supporting projects, whether it's workforce development, creative initiatives that's keeping people from sleeping in the doorways of businesses.
Okay.
And I misspoke. I apologize. I received a note, so I need to clarify this on the record. The actual capital build-out is deferred maintenance, not the $3 million.
So deferred maintenance is where that $200,000 would come from?
Correct. And there's a deferred maintenance budget that already exists.
Thank you. And then last question related to building and sort of the funding piece is the property would not be owned by Oasis, but would be leased by. So just wanted to get an understanding of that agreement. As I understand, that lease agreement is 3 years. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
The contractual lease agreement is between the city of Birmingham and the owners. Daniel Property, what is it?
Daniels Property Group, Marcus Daniels, again, the property owner is on.
The property owner who's out of state is online as well if you have any additional questions.
Thank you. That's good there. And then my last question pertains again to the community engagement piece. Director, I know you spoke to this, and I just wanted to clarify, have business owners that are directly adjacent to where this property would be located, they've been reached out to, they've been spoken to, and we have letters of support from all of them?
So we didn't do letters of support. We did signatures when we did the one-on-one meetings. There are no for-profit businesses right there, but everybody in the immediate block all around have been contacted. And so now we're spreading out to those other businesses, just letting them know. I'm sure, like I said, the HEART team has been there. They've seen the increased engagement, but they have not had a conversation with us. We're starting to go out of the immediate perimeter, but right around, yes.
How many signatures?
That was only about 4 groups, so it only really required about 4 signatures. The only letter of support that we got, like I said, was from the weigh station because they couldn't be here today. And they asked, just to be clear, when we met folks, we wanted them to know what was going on, what was the details of the project, and signing saying that they got their questions, and that we answered their questions. Support started to just kind of come in organically as people heard that this item was coming before the council yesterday and today. So thank you to our providers who've just been showing up to show their support and submitting letters.
All right, thank you, Director. Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you very much. Madam Pro Tem.
Thank you, Madam President. Elena, I want to just give you just my just overall how you have been in the paint and have really worked extremely hard. I got a chance in 23, was it 23, that we traveled to California?
I think so.
To visit Urban Alchemy, their whole operation, and how things, you know, they were doing things there from the call center. Then we had the opportunity to go to the Oasis, where the property, was given to the mayor to develop the Oasis. But I also want to continue to challenge my colleagues in order to, I just feel like in order for people to really see how things work, you gotta go and you gotta do some site visits. So you can really see, this is a tedious thing to attack. I live directly across the street from the Salvation Army. I work directly with Elena. I work with the mayor, with this abandoned Suncoast service station that we have worked tremendously hard to keep clean. Worked with Urban Alchemy, about 3 weeks ago? Young lady and her son, several people were out there. They pulled up, called Artie, no problem, we coming, got the young lady on a bus, sent her back to Huntsville. And I see this movement every day with people transitioning in and out the Salvation Army. And the bottom line is, we do not have day facilities in Birmingham. You know, we commend people like the firehouse. I commend Patricia Todd for doing the work that she's done. Commend everybody in this space for doing the work that they're doing. And so I think we've had some conversations. I think I've sent the mayor maybe like some texts or some things that I've seen in other cities where they've opened up. I don't call it transitional housing. I call it safe housing, because what I do know is people that get into this work, they see dollars. They really don't see the person as being human. They begin to start counting bodies. This is how much I can make on this person. Then we have these systems that are in place, like our Alabama Department of Correction, that releases people that are coming out of prison, mentally ill, drug addicted, then you got all these problems. Then as I was exiting off 6th Avenue, exit yesterday, and I'm gonna talk about the Alabama Department of Transportation, who is doing a terrible job not lighting up the freeways. But I see tents everywhere. Tents all under the underpath of the freeway. Now I'm reminded of maybe some years ago when somebody set a fire up under a freeway in Atlanta. And you can't even get these people to come do basic things of clearing out these sites. But everybody wants, where these people gonna go? Public safety starts with us all. Business owners, community members, everybody. We gotta have some sympathy and some empathy. I don't even see that from people. It's a, what we gonna do? Everybody wanna lock somebody up. What they gonna do when they get out of jail? They come right back to the streets. So where's the medium, the balance in all of this? When we go get the solutions and we bring them back, then everybody wanna push back. So where's the balance? The business owners, everybody gotta come to the table to rectify this problem. But again, thank you for the hard work that you have put in. Thank Urban Alchemy. Thank everybody, Firehouse, all of the partners, everybody coming to the table.
Thank you. Thank you. Councilor Quinn?
Thank you. So I am the counselor for the district that this site will be located in. I support this project. I think there are, you know, as Pro Tem Tate just spoke to, there are reasons of, you know, empathy and humanitarian, you know, considerations for doing this project, but I want to set that aside completely. I think if you look from a just cold, hard facts, dollars and cents, from a financial analysis point of view, this is a good investment of taxpayer dollars, because homelessness is not free for taxpayers. You gonna pay me now? Are you gonna pay me later? And if you choose to pay me later, you're gonna pay 5 times as much. People who are living on the street have a much higher rate of engagement with first responders. So that takes police officers out of service from taking care of other public safety needs. It takes paramedic units out of service for being at the emergency room. And oh, by the way, if they're admitted to the emergency room, taxpayers are paying for that medical care. If they have to be admitted to the hospital, taxpayers are paying for that. So, you know, there's a wise man that once said, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. And this is exactly that situation. Nobody, you know, gets out of this on a free ride. You're going to pay now or you're going to pay later, and if you choose to pay later, you're going to pay a whole lot more. So just from a financial analysis point of view, and I know you guys are going to compile some numbers for us, but just based on, you know, things that I've read, you know, it's just like crime prevention in general. I have some old numbers. I used to have a data sheet on my door of my office that talked about how much the cost of each homicide costs taxpayers. And this is like an old number, but, you know, each homicide costs taxpayers about $1.5 million. It's probably twice that now. And, you know, this is the same type of situation. You know, if we can prevent, and you know, let me just give out a shout out to BPD right now, because the work that they have done over the past year, you know, is saving taxpayers millions, you know, and I look at this through the same lens. You know, I think there are a lot of big-hearted people in this metro area, and you know, it's apparent just by the charitable giving that you see in the Birmingham metro area. But again, I want to just, you know, I want to acknowledge that, but set it aside and say this is a wise use of taxpayer resources, because in the long run, it's going to save a lot of money. I just want to put that out there.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Quinn. Councilor Dunn.
Thank you, Madam President, and Director Milton, thank you for your presentation and all the work that you have done up until this point. I'm reminded of a saying from a notable citizen of Birmingham: if you do what you've always done, you'll get what you've always gotten. And we're at a point where we can't afford to do nothing. We can't be afraid to think outside of the box when it comes to tackling our unhoused crisis that we have in the city of Birmingham. And so we have to do something. Whether that something works is yet to be determined, but at least do something. And I'm super excited to see that we are doing something. As a municipality, it is our responsibility to care for every citizen in the city of Birmingham, not just those that are housed. And so I'm excited to see that we are making headway on this. I do have one question before I end. How will individuals know about the Oasis? So how will we get the word out?
That's a great question. So again, through engagement, so starting from the moment this passes, being able to say to folks who are already kind of hanging around close to the space, that there will be a safe space that's coming really soon. Also, as we work with these providers, letting them know that this is a space for your folks who need a place to go to well. Just like the mayor said, very similar to folks who are our house residents, the word will spread that there is a space that you can go just to basically be able to use the restroom. You know, like people, the word will get out, but we're absolutely depending on partnership with our providers to let folks know that the Oasis is here.
Okay, thank you. And just one last comment. Again, I want to thank you for the work that you're doing, that the city of Birmingham is doing. I know since I've been on this side of the dais, the people will criticize you when you do something, and they'll criticize you when you don't. So keep up the good work.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Councilor Gunn. Councilor Woods?
Thank you, Madam President. Quick question on the finance piece. I heard you mention that the lease funds couldn't come from the opioid source. Where are we pulling that from?
From the $3 million allocation that you all approved for unhoused strategies, so the general fund.
All right, yeah, I will say, like I said, this has been a growing issue. I think I've begin to see more feedback from residents on the eastern side of town around unhoused population and kind of what are we doing to really move people ultimately to permanent housing, transitional, but ultimately to permanent housing. And so we've been able to increase our investment in this space over the years. So I'm optimistic. One, just getting an opportunity to kind of get data. I think if we can find some solutions that are effective, we can kind of start to, move this thing in a better direction. I've kind of observed, I think, the significant trust issues. Like, I think you talk about that a lot, but we've been able to kind of see that in real world. And I mean, it makes sense. Somebody just pulls up and tells you they want to take you somewhere. You're not going to be as receptive to that. So creating some safe spaces to be able to build those relationships. But yeah, I think the data piece is going to be key. And so being able to track that and point to, yay or nay, is this impactful or not? Like, I'm big on being able to pilot things, prove concepts, and if effective, we can find additional ways to invest in it. But like I said, excited about the opportunity just to see it in action in Birmingham and see if this is something that can be effective for us.
Thank you, Councilor Woods. I do just have one question, Director Milton. Yesterday I did ask, so I know the answer, but I just want for transparency. During Budget and Finance, part of the presentation you included was the scope or the map of where this would be located and the surrounding businesses or people that were close. And you had several churches that were in there. And I believe I asked at that time, what had been your sort of engagement with those primary businesses or churches? And had you had some communication with those particular neighbors that would be involved there?
Yes, ma'am. So we started there because there is one church in particular that's very, very close. And the feedback was really good for Pastor Caldwell. So I thank him for spending a tremendous amount of time with us. And what we've learned is the number one issue around the unhoused was the amount of trash and littering and loitering. And the next day, the Heart team was out there cleaning up. And we've gotten pictures, and since then, that has continued to go on. Just being good neighbors. Yes, we would be responsible for this spot of land, but that entire community, how it looks and feels for the folks that'll be on the other side of that gate is important. Equally important that our churches in the area and our house residents in the community, or even though they're far out, know that it's a nice, safe space that people can go. We have heard that there are increased loitering around Sundays. And so, one, this spot will be open on Sundays, but two, we know now from police patrol as well as the heart team, we need to increase our engagement. And that's not the only church we've heard that from. And so we want to be real intentional to offer them that support as well.
Glad that you gave that information, because one of my concerns was, I believe I asked, what were the hours of operation? And I was concerned about just the churches and Sunday and people coming in and out, and what would be that traffic, and what would that be, that experience. So thank you for that. I do want to thank you for the work that you're doing, for the work that has been done since the last presentation. I know that we voted at that time to support and had overwhelming response that made that not go into effect. I do want to thank the property owner that brought this as an opportunity for us, and I think it gave us an opportunity for lessons learned during the last presentation and the last time we considered that, for the work that went into it to try to answer those questions. I do understand the concern about being sure that we're good stewards of not only the settlement that we got from the opioid funds, but for the money that we have in the general fund for assistance of our unhoused strategies. I just have to think, often we have items that come before us that are meant, therefore, I don't want to say, they're meant to make money for people who are investing in a project. And sometimes we don't see this in the help and the aid to our residents. So for this type of a project, I'm excited that this one segment, we will be able to help. It is not going to be the most perfect, but again, it is a start to where we want to go and what we want to see for the people in the city of Birmingham. So I thank you. At this time, if there are no other
I have
questions,
just
Councilor?
a few more questions. You were talking about the trash and et cetera. It made me think, how many trash cans will be on site and around the area?
So I don't know how many will be around the area, but inside, we've been working with DPW, and they've suggested, because of the potential volume, that we have a roll-off, and they will service. The staff will clean and empty, but DPW will service, and we're working to get a roll-off.
Okay, good. And then, do you mind repeating the timeline for this project? I know it was in your slides, but can you?
So the goal would be, of course, to continue community engagement from the moment we leave here, just making sure we meet with the neighbors. The longest thing in a timeline will be how long it'll take to put the fence up. So in a perfect world, we would open early fall, so in October.
Okay, I'm not sure if you mentioned this, but when it gets cold, will there be heaters on site?
There will be heaters.
Okay, good. Okay. And then last one, did you ever say the number of businesses you've engaged since you started inquiring about this project?
I did. I said there are no businesses in the immediate, so we focus on what's right around, and now we want to just start going outside the perimeter where there are some for-profit businesses in the area.
So you don't know how many?
We have not
Okay,
begun
okay.
with the for-profit businesses in the
Okay.
area.
And what's the name of the business owner? Who's the business owner again?
Which one?
For the lot that we're purchasing from?
Oh, Marcus Daniels.
Marcus Daniels?
He's still on the call if there's a question for him.
Yeah, because I just got information he's not really the owner. That's why I asked, again, who is the owner of this lot? Okay, so are you the only person that owns this lot? Okay, that's fine. Thank you. Like I mentioned before, I think this is a good idea, and I'll say myself, I need to do a better job of asking questions, because we can have good ideas, but if we don't ask the questions and make sure the logistics is right, a good idea can sometimes fall by the wayside, and that happens from something as small as a family reunion to something as big as a development project. So I don't want it to appear as a lot of questions means not really in support. It's just making sure that things go well. And I do really appreciate you, Elena, because you have helped me recently with the situation with our unhoused residents. And I think what this project is really about investing in people. I think Madam President talked about we invest a lot of times in infrastructure, but it's the people that make up the city and not just the infrastructure. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. Any other questions, councilors, or comments? Thank you, Director Melton. We thank you and everyone that has answered questions. And thank you, councilors, for the series of questions that we had regarding this particular item. At this time, Madam Clerk, we're ready for the vote.
The vote has started.
I'm yes.
Mine's not working either. I'm a no.
Right. That vote should be up.
All right, thank you. So, councilors, items 15 and 12 pass. Next item.
If we go back to the beginning.
Yes, we can go from the beginning.
All
Thank
right.
you.
On page 4, we have item number 9, which has been requested to be withdrawn by the mayor's office.
All right, thank you. Item 9 is withdrawn.
Okay, the next item on page 4 is item 10. An ordinance approving and authorizing the mayor to execute an interlocal contract accepting a grant of $462,500 from the Jefferson County Board of Health for development of parks to provide sustainable industrial residential buffer zones as proposed by the city and in accordance with conditions set out in this ordinance and in the agreement presented to this council for approval. This is an item of permanent operation, so we'll need unanimous consent first. Councilmember Gunn. Aye. Councilmember O'Quinn.
Aye.
Councilmember Smitherman. Aye. Councilmember Vasa.
Aye.
Councilmember Williams.
Aye.
Councilmember Woods.
Aye.
President Pro Tem Tate. Aye. And Council President Alexander.
Aye.
Okay, now we need a motion on the actual item.
All right, thank you, councilors. This is an ordinance approving and authorizing the mayor to execute an interlocal contract where we're accepting a grant of $462,500 from the Jefferson County Board of Health for the development of parks to provide sustainable industrial residential buffer zones. And those have been proposed by the city in accordance with conditions set in the ordinance. Any questions regarding this item, or do we need any type of presentation regarding this item?
Just one question.
Yes,
Which-
Councilman
I know
Smith.
the answer is during budget and
Okay.
finance for us, but which parts would benefit from this?
I have to pull that. I'm sorry, Madam President.
Yes, Chief.
I know they were mostly around the affected area of the interstate, because that was the settlement from that lawsuit was the caveat for this, but we can provide that. But I think they're mostly in the North Birmingham area.
Okay.
In Central City area.
Okay, I just wanted to say it for the public, but I do remember that.
Thank you. I was trying to think, Harriman, Macklin,
Fairmont.
and Fairmont. Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. Any other questions? Okay, we're ready for the vote.
Okay, that vote has started. And Council President Alexander.
And I'm an aye, thank you. Having trouble with my iPad.
All right.
All right, thank
That
you.
vote
That
is up.
item passes. Next item.
The next item, we will go over to page 5, item 13. Item 13 is a resolution approving and authorizing the mayor to execute a funding agreement between the City of Birmingham and the Regional Planning Commission of Greater Birmingham, under which the RPCGB shall assist the city with applications for federal and state grants, provide multi-jurisdictional planning for comprehensive land use, corridor and strategic development, provide long-range programs and planning, including urbanized area and greenway plans. RPCGB shall assist the city with GIS data development, analysis, and deployment assistance for a term of 1 year in amount not to exceed $128,403 for the services provided. So we need a motion, please.
All right, thank you. Councilor Smitherman, you'd asked this item to be removed from consent.
Yes, what are the locations of the urbanized area and greenways that will benefit from this? It says in number 3, provide long-range programs and planning, including urbanized area and greenway plans.
I'm trying to find it in the attachments, but I believe that it's still something that we negotiate with the RPC since this is our yearly funding agreement with them. But you know, as they convene as a commission, they assign different projects within the scope of Birmingham and other municipalities that pay into that system.
Okay. I just didn't know if that was like for existing greenways or.
It's past and future projects.
Past and future, because I know there's been discussion around vacant lots and seeing to turn them into greenways, for example. And so I didn't know if that was something we could look into different parts of the city. Just trying to see how to repurpose them instead of them turning into overgrown lots that have been really a burden for all 9 districts. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions regarding this item? We're ready for the vote.
Okay, the vote is started. Council
And
President.
I'm an aye.
Okay,
All right, thank you. Item 13 passes.
all right. The next item is on page 8, is item number 22. A resolution consenting to the Industrial Development Board of the City of Birmingham issuing up to $10 million principal amount of its industrial revenue bonds for the purpose of financing the acquisition, construction, improvement, equipping, and installation by Colton Holdings LLC of a manufacturing and warehousing facility located at 1811 Woodlands Industrial Drive, Birmingham.
All right, thank you, councilors. This is a resolution consenting to the Industrial Development Board of issuing $10 million in principal amount of its industrial revenue bonds. Any questions regarding this item? Councilor Quinn.
Yes, do we have a member of the Industrial Development Board here to speak about this item?
Hi.
Yes, ma'am.
If you give us your name, and then we'll let you answer the question.
Yes, absolutely. My name is Edward Gall with Bradley Aaron Bolt Cummings, serving as bond counsel to the IDB for the financing contemplated in the resolution before you. And we are, the proposal is to issue bonds on behalf of Jeff Colton. And those, the bond proceeds will be used for the acquisition, construction, renovation, and rehabilitation of a trade show booth manufacturing facility. So if all of you can picture in your head, like, you know, when you, I tend to think of Iron Man, you know, the big weapons displays they have. These are, that's not what it is, but somebody builds those big expo booths. And Jeff Colton has been in Birmingham for about 30 years now. And so let's say, you know, he has to build an exhibit for a particular company. That exhibit then goes on the road and it travels all throughout the country. And eventually it's going to come back to Birmingham where it's going to be refurbished. It's going to be continually, I would say, manufactured and bespoked for the next trade show that is coming. And in order to do that, you need, you know, a lot of manufacturing capacity and you need a lot of warehousing space. And so what we're trying to do here is provide Jeff with just that. And the IDB is going to issue bonds on his behalf. And under the IDB's certificate of incorporation, it says that the IDB cannot lease, improve, expand any sort of real or personal property constituting a project underneath the statute 11-54-80 without the prior consent of the Birmingham City Council. And so that is why we are here today.
So will the $10 million, will the IDB own the facility?
Yes, that is my understanding.
Okay. And so What is the IDB's total bonding capacity?
That I do not know the answer to. I know that underneath, what do you mean when you say bonding capacity?
Well, what I'm getting at is, let's just say the IDB's total bonding capacity is $10 million.
We are authorized to issue up to $10 million in bonds.
Okay, so convince me that, the investment of $10 million in this facility is, appropriate use of that bonding capacity versus where $10 million could be invested elsewhere.
Right. So in reality, the IDB is not investing $10 million in any way. That is not what this is. This is a conduit financing through which the proceeds of the bonds are secured and payable solely from lease payments that come from Jeff Colton. And so the ultimately it's going to be coming from Jeff. So the lease payments are going to come from the revenues of him just ordinarily running this business. And realistically, there's no liability on the part of the city. There's no liability on the part of the IDB. It is a lease-backed revenue conduit arrangement.
So maybe I misunderstood earlier. So the IDB is just financing the project for them. So the IDB will actually not own this property.
So it's a lease back. The IDB owns the property. It's going to be secured by a mortgage, which will serve as collateral for the duration of the debt service in paying off the bonds.
Okay, now I understand. I got you. So did Colton Holdings reach out to the IDB, to solicit this sort of assistance?
So actually, Mr. Colton has done this before. He did this in 2009. And so the deal that we're putting before you today is essentially the same as it was in 2009. The only difference in 2009 is there was a federal tax hiccup that was applicable post-2008, which is not applicable here, which involves federal guarantees. But we have, a letter of credit that's going to come from CB&S Bank that is going to, serve as backup collateral for the bonds. And then we have a confirming letter of credit that's going to come from Wells Fargo to even serve as greater safety net for debt service payments. And so at the end of the day, there's just all that we are asking for, and that comes from the IDB's certificate of incorporation, is just the consent to just continue with
Right.
what we were
Yeah, I understand. And all I'm asking for is, to convince me that this is the appropriate use of the IDB resources. So, does this project have the backing of, say, like the Birmingham Business Alliance?
Yes, that's the back of the Birmingham Business Alliance, and we have been in conversations with the state, and we are waiting on confirmation of a scheduling for the State Industrial Development Authority to convene so that we can get state bond allocation for qualified small issue manufacturing bonds. And so we've been, working on it.
Okay. I would like so the only information that we got in the agenda was the resolution, the text of the resolution of the item. So we don't, part of the reason that I'm asking these questions is because the structure of the deal wasn't part of the information that was shared with us. So I would appreciate that.
Yes, and I did provide a project summary. Whether or not that was conveyed to y'all, that is my apologies.
There was an
I'll make
exhibit.
sure- Yeah, I'll make sure that gets sent to y'all after.
There was an exhibit as part of the resolution, but it's mostly a description of the property. So,
No, that was the exhibit was just like the legal description of the land. I have an
Right.
actual project summary which outlines a lot of what you're asking for,
okay,
which I did
all right,
provide
great.
to the city in advance.
I'd be very much appreciative if you'd share that with us. I'd also appreciate IDB sharing the minutes of the meeting where they considered this item?
Absolutely. I did share those as well in advance of this meeting, so I'll have to make sure that gets to you.
Okay, that didn't make it to us, so I appreciate it. And, you know, part of the reason that I'm asking about this is that, you know, we have a lot of businesses in the city of Birmingham, you know, and historically, not everybody has had equal access to the type of capital that's required to expand and grow a business. So, been on the council now 9 years. I think this is probably the first time that the IDB has come to us to, you know, ask for consent. You know, I may not be remembering previous.
No, and it makes sense that you are not, because this used to be a much more common method of financing back in the day, but for reasons, you know, beyond my knowledge, it became less popular, and they have been becoming more popular again lately. These like qualified small issuing manufacturing bonds that we're talking about.
Right.
I know Ben Spratling, you know, counsel of the IDB, has given me the full gambit of history on bond financing through the IDB as it was before. So I cannot speak to, you know, why there hasn't been in the past 10 years, but I do know that it is, it was previously a much more common method of financing.
Yeah, so, so I'm learning, you know, and I'm happy to learn that this is, you know, a potential tool that we can use for economic development in the region. So I'm also curious, you know, I asked about the IDB's total bonding capacity. You mentioned that the IDB is authorized to issue bonds up to $10 million.
For this particular financing, as to its total bonding capacity, I'm not sure that there's a limitation. I would have to look into that.
Yeah, so that's information that, you know, would be helpful. I mean, I don't think there is a day that goes by that every counselor sitting up here doesn't have, you know, a business or an organization that's, you know, reaching out for some type of assistance. And like I said, you know, access to capital has been a challenge. So just for our own edification, that would be useful information. I mean, part of our role as counselors, you know, maybe not explicitly stated in the Mayor-Council Act, but we are, you know, points of contact between the community and resources. That's a position that we find ourselves in every day. And so, you know, having an inventory of resources that we can direct people to helps us in our work. So, you know, if you could assist us with getting that type of information.
Oh,
we'd
absolutely.
really appreciate it. Thank you.
Happy to.
Thank you, Dr. Quinn. Any other questions? Oh, yes, Councilor Woods?
Thank you. Get some clarity on the status. So at this point, they have only bought the property?
So,
Have they
yes.
expended any funds towards
So
the actual project?
what had initially been the plan was to directly use bond proceeds to purchase the property. But what happened is we were having some delays with our tax due diligence because of that. I don't want to bore y'all with federal tax law, but there is a 2009, 2010 law that made it to where you could issue bonds with a federal guarantee without blowing up the tax exemption that comes with, you know, these types of bonds. And so it's not 2010 anymore, but Jeff did it. Jeff issued these bonds, or the IDB issued these bonds in 2009, so it fell in that timeline. So what we had to do was figure out, okay, well, we can't get a confirming letter of credit from a federal home loan bank like we did before because that constitutes a federal guarantee. And so we had to allow for some time for CBNS Bank and Wells Fargo and other parties involved to figure out, okay, what are we going to do instead? And so that's where Wells Fargo is going to come in as confirming. And, but in order for Jeff to, proceed with purchasing the old EBSCO building, he needed to go ahead and, buy it. And so CBNS came up with an idea. They said, okay, well, we'll provide a temporary bridge loan, and then the bond proceeds can go to then, refinance that bridge loan. So it's effectively still being funded by bond proceeds. There just had to be some extra steps in between so that we could, make sure we did everything that we needed to do.
Right. Can you talk a little bit about the liability? Because you were saying
There is no liability on the part of the city in any way, shape, or form. The bonds are secured solely from lease payments that Colton Holdings will make to the IDB, and those lease payments are going to be derived from the revenues that come from the project.
right. My question is more so in terms of liability associated with the IDB.
Right, so the property that would be secured by a mortgage on the property, and then the lease payments will actually be supported by a letter of credit from CBNS Bank. So to the extent any lease payments cannot be made, those lease payments then come from the bank. And actually, there's going to be a confirming letter of credit to further assure bondholders and to assure everyone that everything will get paid. Wells Fargo is going to come in behind them and support.
All right, so the property will be a part of the collateral that the IDB, who's holding the collateral?
That is my understanding, yes, of the project.
Well, I'm saying, who does it revert to in the case of a default?
In the case of what now?
A default.
Oh, I believe it reverts back to the IDB.
So the IDB would own this property and have to
I don't want to speak out of turn here. I'll have to confirm that myself.
Yeah, I mean, and I've got a separate issue in my district associated with the similar situation that went a different route, but I am interested in clarity around the downside, like what happens if, because this also...
From my understanding, that is virtually none to minimal, short of, the business just not doing well. I don't really think there's much downside that comes because...
Well, I mean, that's the downside I'm talking about. If the business doesn't sustain or has some issue.
No, I understand. What this is an expansion of the existing business because it is so successful and because it is doing so well. The entire reason we're doing this financing is so that he can expand his space to meet the needs and capacity that he is being asked for.
Right, but I'm saying these are, what's the term on these bonds?
I believe it was 20-ish years.
Right, so I mean, we just don't know, so I'm just saying in the event that there is an issue, I'm just trying to get clarity on specifically what happens in that instance.
Right, in that scenario, it's going to...
Yeah, sure.
Thank you, Councilor Williams.
I know
You have something?
I'm out of turn, but I just wanted to state that, so typically what will happen is if there is a downturn in this business, the letter of credit that the bank holds will then pay for the bonding of, so that there is no downturn to the IDB. And so the bank secures the bond payments or mortgage payments throughout the 20-year process with the letter of credit. And the negative would come from a relationship between Jeff or whoever the person is and the bank, because then Jeff would then owe the bank to repay the bank for their letter of credit that paid for all of the bond payments for that 20 years, is my understanding of how that would work should the business become insolvent for any reason and not be able to make those payments.
That's exactly right.
Does that make sense?
So there's a letter that basically says, so the bank would end up taking the property they would continue the lease payments on the,
Oh, yes, no, there'll be a credit agreement in place to affect that.
Okay, and so I guess has that agreement been done, or where is that in the process?
It's being drafted currently in the same manner as it was in 2009.
Okay. Sorry, I'm just trying to make sure I didn't overlook that in the agreement. Yeah, if anybody else has a question, you can come back to me.
All right, thank you. Any other questions? All right. And you're saying that information was included in the attachments that we have?
I'm sorry, what information?
The information that Councilor Woods was asking. What are you looking for?
Yes, I
Councilor?
mean, I think ultimately just clarity on the bank providing a letter. And so if there is some sort of letter of intent to do that, or indication that they've agreed. Because I think to Councilor Quinn's point, this is a tool that, you know, we can use locally to bring in economic development funds, and, you know, whatever we lend that capacity to is diminished by, in this case, $10 million that can't go to something else. But I'm comfortable with it if the bank is backing that and committing to ensure that the bond payments are paid in full through the term of that bond. But we don't have that here.
Do you understand what he's saying?
I don't think so.
Do you have like a letter of intent from the bank,
guarantee
or
letter.
like the bank agreeing to back?
Well, so
basically,
what we have is documentation from the bridge loan, which expires come October 26th, which means there has been a bridge loan put in place that's entirely premised upon, you know, the hope that this bond issue can happen, which means that nobody is doing anything that they don't fully intend to commit to, because they've already entered the phase one portion of this, so that Jeff could just buy the property without having to wait, and prices go up and, you know, all those things. And so there's no risk that aspect of this will not occur.
right, but I'm saying after that point, so once they sell the bonds, they're gonna pay off the bridge loan. And so the bridge loan will be
Yes.
paid off, and that'll happen prior to October of this year. And so my thing is, you're saying that the bank is guaranteeing the lease payments through the term, should something happen
Correct.
with the business of the project. And I'm just asking, like, where is that reflected? Do you have that letter? At what point will
I can certainly provide all of that to you, absolutely.
So that's kind of where I'm interested in, just making sure the liability is not on the IDB.
Yes, the liability is not on the IDB, and I can provide documentation to support that, absolutely.
If I could ask administration, thank you for those questions. IEO or economic development, in asking for these items that were in the packet, can we request these, or were these provided to us?
So the administrator had no insight on this, so the IDB acts separately apart from the city. So I think it's just between the IDB
And us.
yes, ma'am, and
All right.
attorney.
Madam
Yes,
President,
Administrator McDaniels.
there are some additional attachments in the packet. They're misnumbered.
That's
the
what-
sum- so the
something
summary-
looks like number 19 that I think
Correct.
should be 22. Thank you. Do you have copies of those, or we can refer councilors to that? Because, thank you so much for bringing that up. And I think it's mislabeled as 19, is that correct? Okay,
Yes, ma'am, we apologize for that.
thank you. So, councilors, if you could look at those.
It should be in your contract packet.
Keep going.
For
Okay,
anybody
Councilors, have
who's
y'all
looking,
found that?
that's page 263 of our packet.
But it has the project expo summary at the top.
Yes. Yeah.
And that gives some of those information. And then this, which is identified as page 119.
Yeah, I
It
got most
does
of this.
describe the
How
under.
long will it take you to get that, letter of intent, like basically the bank letter?
I'll send it to you when I get back to my office.
You have it?
Do what?
You have it already?
I don't know if there is a letter of intent, or I don't know if there's I don't know what specific documents you're looking for, but I can certainly provide.
I guess the point, like, the liability is gonna rest with somebody. And so it's either
Yes,
gonna
the
be the bank or the IDB.
Absolutely.
And you're saying the bank, and so we just want,
Yeah, I
I'm
can.
asking just for.
Yeah, no, I can send you the bridge loan documents. You can take a look at those and see if
I don't know why would that be in the bridge loan document?
because the bridge loan is the phase one portion of this financing to support the bond.
So the bank is signed on for the entire project. Typically.
The bank is
Yeah, typically a bridge loan's gonna go away once it's paid off.
correct. It'll be paid off with the bond proceeds that come from this bond issuance.
Right. And so, I mean, I'm representing the public side, and so I'm talking about
Yes.
down the road. You understand what I'm saying?
I honestly, I don't, because when the bank issues the bridge loan, you know, that financial analysis is done so that they can issue the letter of credit, because the bonds can't be issued without the letter of credit. And so the individual's already been deemed creditworthy by the bank that's securing the bonds with the letter of credit, so I don't know where we're going with this.
Yeah, so I guess the point goes back to if they're unable to make the lease payments.
Then the bank takes it through the letter of credit. The letter of credit guarantees the lease payments.
But I'm saying, is there a letter of credit? Does that exist, or is that something you're gonna get?
So that is currently like what that is part of this deal. Everything gets closed on the same day. The letter of credit, there's probably about 50 plus documents that come with the transaction that is this complicated and of this size. And that will all happen, simultaneously. So we do not have the full credit agreement for you yet. What I have for you is the plan, which is nearly identical to what was done in 2009. Of which, to my knowledge, a debt service payment has never been missed for.
Councilors, included in the packet, we do have some items again that were labeled as 19, even though this is item number 22. And I do see some of that communication regarding the bridge loan and the attachments of the IDB that's labeled item page 2 and 3 that does describe some of this information.
Yes, ma'am.
And now if we need to take a few minutes to allow you all to review.
Yeah, so I mean, that's what went to committee, that document. Like I said, I don't know that we have everything, but I don't see anything that suggests that the bank is engaged beyond the bridge loan being paid off.
Any other questions, councilors? How are you sitting with this as far as getting more information, Councilor Woods?
I mean, I don't know if there's any time-sensitive element to this. I don't think it's creating an issue if we delay this a week, just to get that. Like I said, if there is, the bank is already on board with this, that's basically what I'm looking for, is just some confirmation that somebody's backstopping.
I can absolutely assure you that the bank is on board with this. We engaged Stifel as underwriter through the last IDB meeting. That was one of the actions that we took to hire us as bond counsel. And, you know, steps we're drafting right now. We've engaged with Regions to serve as trustee on the deal. We have pretty much honestly, a great framework laid out due to the fact that this deal was done almost identically in 2009. And so I can certainly provide you with everything that we need, but I do know that, you know, this is something that we would like to get done fast, you know, to the extent that we can.
All right, well, I'll move for a 1-week delay. If you can pull all that together, then we can sort it next week.
Second.
Second.
All in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
All right, thank you. We'll have a 1-week delay on this item, and we just want to be sure we have clarity for you to provide us with the items that are being requested so that we can get those before the council to consider during that week.
So I have,
Yes.
what specific items are we looking for, so I understand? Is it a letter of intent to issue a letter of credit? Is that the?
Yeah, there's some commitment from the bank that they'll
Okay.
be backstopping the $10 million.
Is that understandable, what we're looking for? Okay. Letter of commitment to ensure that the bank is backing the.
Right, just whoever, like, yeah, I mean, because I'm being told that the liability is not going to rest with the IDB, so just making sure that that is covered. You know.
Understandable.
Understandable.
All right, thank you.
Awesome.
All right.
Thank y'all so much.
Thank you. This item 22 is delayed for 1 week. Thank you very much. Next item.
That is the last item on the agenda.
That was the last item on the agenda. Thank you very much. At this time, councilors, we will turn our attention to your updates regarding things going on in your district. So, Councilor Smithman, you want to start first?
Yes, Madam President. Thank you to everyone that joined us last Thursday at Arlington House for the community forum in partnership with Brenda Brown Bosom Buddies. Join Councilor Tate and I this Saturday, August 1st from 10 to 2 for Peace on the Block. We will be meeting at 1200 Tuscaloosa Avenue, food, vendors, mental health resources, and more. And then Get Fit While You Sit. We are still continuing through the last Monday in September. The class starts at 9:30 at Cristo Rey Birmingham High School. And also, I want to tell Madam President, happy belated birthday. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Councilor Voss, are you ready?
Thank you, Madam President. Our D3 school supply pop-up is this Saturday, August 1st, from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. at Bessie Estelle Park. We will distribute supplies at Bessie Estelle Park in Glen Iris. We are inviting families from Epic, Glen Iris, and Avondale Elementary Schools to come pick out their school supplies for the upcoming year. And there will not be a Redmont Park meeting, neighborhood meeting tonight. That has been canceled. Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you so much. Councilor Quinn, you ready?
Yes, ma'am. Fountain Heights Neighborhood Association meeting has been canceled for this evening. Crestwood North Neighborhood Association will meet tonight at 6:30 p.m. at Girls Incorporated. And just want to, again, sound like a broken record about this up here, but the annual District 5 Health Fair will take place on Saturday, August 8th, 9 to 2 p.m. at Parker High School. Again, we're proud to partner with the Alpha Phi chapter of the Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated to make the event possible. Want to say thank you to those guys again, over and over again. They were out canvassing the neighborhood in Smithfield yesterday afternoon, going door to door, passing out flyers, which we haven't had the capacity to do in previous years, so it's tremendous. So the health fair is going to offer free health screenings, community resources, back-to-school supplies, blood drive, backpack giveaway, school supplies, free food. It should be a fun time, so you guys come out and make plans to check it out. And again, that's August 8th, 9 to 2 p.m. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. O'Quinn. Councilor Gunt?
Thank you, Madam President. These are my announcements for this week. This Saturday, we'll be hosting the District 4 Back to School Splash. It'll be a free community event designed to bring families together before the start of the new school year. So we invite residents, all residents in District 4 and in the city of Birmingham, to enjoy an afternoon filled with water, fun, music, food, and back-to-school giveaways. We will also, during that time, it'll start at 11 o'clock, so we'll have an hour dedicated just for our seniors in the community to come out and enjoy aqua aerobics in the pool without kids around. So I want to make sure that everyone comes out and attends that. Neighborhood Association meetings coming up. The first Monday of this month, which is August the 3rd, we have the Maple Grove Neighborhood Association meeting, which takes place at 6:30 p.m. Via teleconference. We also have on that same Monday, Zion City, which takes place at 6:30 p.m. via teleconference. Also on that same Monday, we have Brownsville Heights, which takes place at 6:30 p.m. at the Brownsville Heights Community Center. And lastly, on that Monday, we have Collegeville, which takes place at 6:30 p.m. at Greater New Antioch Baptist Church. Also on the first Tuesday of the month, which is August the 4th, we have the Fairmont Neighborhood Association, which takes place at 6:30 p.m. at the North Birmingham Library. And rounding out next week, we have Brummett Heights, which takes place August the 6th at 1 p.m. at the Brownsville Heights Community Center. Upcoming committee meetings, we have the next Community Development Committee meeting scheduled for Monday, August the 3rd at 3:30 p.m. right here in the City Council chambers. And that concludes my announcements.
Thank you, Madam Pro Tem.
Thank you, Madam President. Dolomite Neighborhood Association meeting is tonight at 6 p.m. They meet on conference call. You can call 720-843-2669. The access code is 3789426. As has already been stated by Councilor Quinn, Fountain Heights Neighborhood Association meeting is canceled tonight. Central Pratt Neighborhood Association meeting will be held Monday, August the 3rd, 6 p.m. at the Howard Sanford Park, located at 320 Avenue D, and that's in Pratt City. Next public safety meeting will be today in the council chamber. Also want to talk about and highlight Peace on the Block. We locking down Tuscaloosa Avenue again. Want to thank my partners, Councilor Smitherman, the 5 Urban League, Offender Alumni, and all the vendors that will be out there. So the Peace on the Block is our annual event that brings resources and bring people together in the community for wellness resources, music, vendors, food, youth activities, and family fun, and mental health resources. So we're looking forward to this event. It's going to be at OAA at 1200 Tuscaloosa Avenue from 10 o'clock to 2 p.m. Also, Dr. Jamila T. Davis and the Community Safety Department is going to be doing an activation at One Pratt Park, 205 Game Changers. Those were the 50 students that took the Rise Up program at Miles this year. So they're going to activate the park tomorrow from 11 to 3, and that's going to be at One Pratt Park. So the kids are going to lead that activation. So they'll do the youth leadership, wellness, sports, resources. So it'll be an array of things. So you have Restore, Community Safety Department, and Dr. Jamila T. Davis, who heads the Rise Up program at Miles College. Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you very much. These are announcements for District 7. Do want to note, councilors, that tomorrow we do have a special call committee of the whole Administration and Government Affairs Committee meeting. That's tomorrow at 3:30 here in council chambers. On Saturday, August 1st, the District 7 office will be teaming up with Grace Club, CDC, and the Roosevelt City and the East and West Brownsville Neighborhood Associations. This is the third annual Community Resource Fair and Book Bag Giveaway. So there are many opportunities for you to get your children ready to go back to school. That will be Saturday from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the Roosevelt City Rec Center. We'll have plenty of free school supplies. There'll be bouncy houses, free limited haircuts, and free food. The book bag giveaway is part of this, that's being sponsored by District 7, that will be until supplies last. So get there early so that you can get there for all those items. And we're happy again to partner with Grace Club CDC and the 3 neighborhood associations to bring this opportunity to our residents. On Monday, August 3rd, the Grisilla Heights Neighborhood Association will meet at 6 p.m. at Bryan Chapel AME Church, and that's at 3125 Spalding Street Southwest. If you have any, want to report any illegal dumping or missed bulk trash pickups, please make that known to 311, or you can dial 205-254-6314. And on behalf of Councilor Smith, I would like to announce that on Saturday, August 18th, she will be partnering with the joint town hall with Representative Travis Hendricks, and that'll be at Sardis Baptist Church at 6 p.m. We don't have any other announcements at this time. We'll alert our attention to the speakers list. Madam Clerk, as you call the first speaker, I just want to remind our speakers, after your name is called, if you'll please come to the podium, and if you'll give us your name and address, and there are monitors to my left and right, they'll be counting down your time. You do have 3 minutes, and we want to entertain any communication you want to provide to the council at this time. So, Madam Clerk, if you'll give us the first person on the speakers list.
The first name we have is Laquan Jackson.
Good morning, Mr. Jackson.
My name is Laquan Jackson. I reside at 1236 Riverford Drive, Hoover, Alabama. I'm glad to see you, sir. And all of you councilors, councilmen, council ladies, for what you guys do in the community. The Bible says that in the presence of council there is safety. And you guys definitely do a good job of making us feel safe. Now, this is provided, I'm a New Yorker, so I'm probably getting the backstory, but I know Birmingham has been good to me. I came here running for my life from New York City, and Birmingham embraced me, educated me. I'm a Miles College, go Bears. And since then, I've served Birmingham solidly. If you ever see all those black people on bikes riding around bicycles in Birmingham, that's my group. We're called Team No Brakes. We've rode on every neighborhood from Avondale to Hoover, from Homewood to Gate City, and it's been nothing but love. We stopped in the most worst neighborhoods y'all could think of, and those people embraced us, changed tires for us, gave us rides. So sometimes I see on the media what they say about Birmingham, and that's not what I see. I see love. So recently, I've invested in a gym on the south side with 3 other people. It's called 5 Points Fitness. I thought it was in Councilman Quinn's area and Lady Smitherness, your area. So I didn't do the traditional way. I think I reached out to you on social media, and I just wanted to come here to show you my face and let you know that we are here to serve you. We're here to give to you. Whatever you need, you have an army behind you when it comes to my group, Team No Breaks, as well as the gym. Thank you for everything that you're doing in the community. I don't know, are you over the?
Transportation?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you for the bike lanes that you give us. It has really helped us out as the best that it can, as far as them seeing us, we seeing them. They give us 6 feet. They even now start honking and cheering as we get out the way. Sometimes you hear, hey, get out the way, but sometimes you also hear, y'all keep going. So I just, again, wanted to take the time out to thank you. I look forward to working in your area, ma'am, and y'all keep doing what you do. God bless.
Thank you, Mr. Jackson. You do look familiar to me. I think you were here with the group before, with the bikers at one time. So, and you told us your story. So I thank you for not only being grateful to the city of Birmingham, but reinvesting in it through your business. So I wish you much success with that. And I always look forward to seeing, when I see the bikers at night and see those lights, I'm always enthused. One day, maybe I'll get on that bike and ride it, but
Can't tell me that because we'll buy you a bike. We've given over $100,000 worth of bikes. That's documented. So you want a bike, y'all holler at me.
is it equipped for seniors? Is it equipped for seniors?
We have e-bikes.
Okay,
We have every bike you could think. We have tricycles.
well, thank you.
My wife told me I got to get a bike that has 2 seats on it. So we have every bike you basically think of. But I do thank y'all for real. And I look forward to hearing from you, lady.
Thank you.
Mr.
Dr.
Jackson, I
Quinn?
know you're not here in this capacity, but aren't you employed with the city?
I am. So I am a bailiff for Judge Kathy Alexis. I was with police and safety, and then I went to corrections, and now I am a bailiff under. I get to serve Kathy Alexis, and I did meet the awesome Smithermans, who I saw them in court, and I said, God, I do not want to go against them. So I'm just grateful for every opportunity that I got, that I have. Birmingham has been good to me, guys. Trying to move my family here, and I'm trying to create an event so I could bring Birmingham to New York City. So life is good.
Thank you, appreciate that, thank you.
Bless you.
Next speaker.
The next speaker is Courtney Brown. Courtney Brown.
Next speaker.
Joseph Holt.
Hey, Mr. Holt, how are
Hey,
you?
how you doing, Madam President and City Council members? My name is Joseph Holt, 4730 2nd Avenue North. Here again about, like I said, a system, the IEO program. I'm gonna read this to you. It's official, this Birmingham City page. It says, Birmingham workforce needs are concentrated in 6 key sectors: information technology, advanced manufacturing, construction trades, healthcare, professional services, and transportation logistics. If your organization is working in any of these areas, in the Birmingham Workforce Partner Accelerator was designed with you in mind. Free program, keyword, free program, real support. May 29th, I signed up that day, okay? The program starts now in July. This is the letter I got. Thank you for allowing Birmingham Workforce Partner Accelerator and for the care you give submission. The decision reflects, it says the Hope Foundation, we cannot offer the Hope Foundation a spot in this cohort. It says this decision reflects the specific fit of this cohort. Now, what does cohort mean? Cohort means a group of people who share something in common. Now, it says right here, construction trades. The Hope Foundation teaches kids construction trades. I'm a licensed contractor for 11 years. I build homes across the community. I teach people trades. I'm on the news. I'm in the papers. I done taught over 50 kids in my program, and I got denied because I'm not a specific fit. Where am I not a specific fit? It say construction trades, okay? IEO and all these programs are discriminating against me. Now, I'm coming here because it's recorded, because some people don't care, and that's fine, but I'm a resident too. I'm a community leader. You're supposed to care about me too, but that's fine. So what I'm saying to you is, it's recorded. I just wanted to come here and say, hey, I'm a resident. I got discriminated against with my program. I'm in construction trades. What is the specific fit? It says I'm not a specific fit. Now, these are 6 cohorts. That's it. I'm not a specific fit for a cohort. Why not? So I asked the guy, he has no answer, Mr. Hauser. The girl who's over the program, the manager, Erica Dix, got smart with me, talked any type of way to me, I took it. But you know what? She's not a specific fit. She's the manager, and on the video for this program, Workforce, the first video, she says, hey, I know I may not be a manager that has experience. She don't have experience. She says she's criminal justice. She graduated from criminal justice, so how is she over workforce development program? She has no experience, but I'm not a specific fit. So what I'm telling y'all is this. I done tried every way. I come here being diplomatic. Joe, just come and tell the people. I tell the mayor's office, I tell y'all, nobody does nothing. So from now, I'm gonna come tell y'all and I file my lawsuits. Cause I'm tired of coming here. I do what's right. I'm in a community, I'm a community leader. I get an email saying, man, been on the news with kids behind me. I got 50 parents already prepared letters saying I taught their children. And I'm not a specific fit. But when I call IEO, you know what they tell me? They said they don't know what specific fit is. They don't know why Diamond Anderson sent me that, because they don't know what she means by specific fit. But I got denied because I'm not a specific fit. But the 6 key items says construction trades, which I teach to 50 kids. So this is frustrating to me. It's nothing against y'all. Y'all have nothing to do with it. But y'all are over the city of Birmingham in these departments. So this is not fair. I'm coming to you because it's not fair. I get no answers why I'm not selected.
Thank you, Mr. Holt.
Thank you.
I appreciate you for sharing this. I understand your frustration. Just to clarify, the city council, under the Mayor Council Act, these departments do not operate under us as far as administration and direct lines of authority. So thank you for sharing that with us, though. We do have people from administration here who have heard your concern as well, so thank you. Next speaker.
Excuse me, the next speaker is Bob Friedman.
Morning, Mr. Freeman. It's afternoon now. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Quite a morning. Every possible subject has been discussed. I am very impressed with your due diligence, I must say, and your patience. I come to thank you for ordinance number 41 on the agenda. I see that the mayor and the Department of Capital Projects has kind of given a little bit more oomph to get the sewer line looked at and repaired for the Carver Theater. That's going to mean a whole lot for the Birmingham Black Radio Museum. I come with a lot of joy on the part of not only my board, but the board of the Alabama Jazz Hall of Fame, because we are contemplating a grand opening for the second time for that building that will involve both projects. Also very happy to hear that 4th Avenue is going to get a new look in terms of, well, I don't want too much to lose on that block, because we've already lost a lot of the block to the federal building. But that there'll be new emphasis on the history of civil rights in this city and the role that Birmingham played. We intend to be certainly partners in that. I wanted to ensure certain folks on the council who have contributed to the Women Pioneers of Black Radio, that project will be absolutely a part of the new construction when it's time for us to rebuild. And I wanted to tell you one story about a man who was born in 1898. His daughter is still living with the city, Miss Annie Blevins McCrae. I don't know how many of you might know her. She's in her 90s. And a dandy human being she is. And we have breakfast from time to time at Fife's Restaurant. Her father, William Blevins, was on the air in 1931. WSGN, considered to be the first African American to broadcast in the Southeast. So picture the 1930s in Birmingham, where one gentleman has 15 minutes on a Sunday to do his program. And the council doesn't look like this. The city doesn't look like this. It's totally structured differently. And he comes on and he sings a hymn, and then he says hello to his friends in Central Park and his friends in Ensley and his friends, and I'll be here and I'll be there and I will see you then. And he sings another hymn and he's off the air. What has he done? He has told people where people will gather in the community. And that was an essential piece to giving coherence to the community as a whole. And this is just one program, 15 minutes on a Sunday. And as we watch the progress of Black radio emerge in Birmingham, we see the format's changed and more folks are on the air during the week. And there's more of that kind of communication going on. It's not overt, it's not necessarily on the air, but it happens where the meetings are, where the parties are, where the concerts are, and so forth. It's a great history, and we look at it from the 1930s to the 1980s, AM radio, when it was closest to the community, from 15 minutes on a Sunday in 60 years, ownership. It's something that we hope will be embraced by the city when we're finished, and certainly a gift of ours to the city. I want to tell you one more thing. Do I have a second for the board members?
Is it going to be just a second?
Yeah, I'm just going to tell you who's on our board.
Okay.
Miss Wilhelmina Richardson, who's General Manager of JLD, Minister Gwen Webb, that most of you know, Attorney Emery Anthony, most of you know, but we brought on 3 more members.
Okay.
Pam King, who's a professor of history at UAB, Wayne Coleman, who was the head of archives for the Birmingham Civil Rights Institute, and Bob Ryder, Dr. Ryder, who teaches archival history at the University of Alabama School of Library and Information Studies.
Thank you, Mr. Friedman. Thank you for sharing that information and sharing that story with us. And
Very well.
we were glad to approve that item today so that you can get further ahead with the changes you want to make there. Thank you. Next speaker.
Terry Michael.
Good afternoon, everybody. Terry Michaels, 629 Ridgetop Circle here in Birmingham. So there was just 2 things I wanted to talk with you about today. One of them is that I see in the Alabama Messenger on July 22nd, the Southern Framework Plan, there was a hearing notification from the City Council about the hearing that's going to happen on August 18th. And also, since then, in just the last couple days, people that are affected by that Southern Framework have received a mailer letting them know this is going to be happening on August 18th. I have been looking for a week or more on information about the Pratt-Inslee hearing that's going to be happening the week before the Southern Framework hearing, 2 weeks before. And I've looked all through June, I've looked all through July. I can find nothing in the Alabama Messenger showing notification of that hearing. I've asked folks I know, now that I know about this mailer, did you receive anything in the mail about it? No, they've received nothing in the mail about it. I have been trying. All I wanted to do was to get the ordinance, to find out what's going to be voted on in just 1 week. I can't find it. It's not out there. So it's just really concerning to me that the Southern Framework has received all this time and attention, and the Pratt-Inslee one, there's just nothing out there about it. So I really want to ask, honestly, I think this needs to be postponed. I don't think y'all should do this in a week. But if you can't do that, can I at least receive the ordinance that you all are going to vote on so that I can help get it out there to the people so they'll know what's going on? Also, I did want to mention once again the data center ordinance. We really would appreciate if y'all can be looking at some of those amendments, and please consider adding those before any other data centers come and put in applications, and you won't be able to make those amendments without having a grandfather and all that other complicated stuff. Okay? So thank you for your time. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Any other speakers?
No, ma'am, that was the last
All
speaker.
right, thank you very much. At this time, councilors, we would like to thank our officers on duty, Officer Pinkert and Officer Tarrant, and our fire inspectors on duty, Inspectors Shaw and Griggs. At this time, we'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
All those in second.
Who made the second? All in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed.
Meeting adjourned. Thank you.
Well, today we are in the heart of Inslee, so we are here for our Block and Bloom block party. So this is a partnership between myself, the District 8 Council Office, as well as the Flourish, Alabama. So we have music, we have food, we have arts, we have, oh gosh, some of everything here today. So it's really just trying to create community, or just to bring the community together for a positive event and just a time to have fun and just enjoy our area.
I want to say thank you to my colleagues on the Birmingham City Council, LaTanya Tate, Brian Gunn. Thank you all for being here to support us. We've had almost all of our councils out here today, so that's been really great.
So we've been planning this for several months now, and it was just something that organically happened. I wanted to do something different for my Safe Summer Concert Series, and I mentioned it to Jamon with the Flourish, and they were thinking the same thing.
I want to just take a couple minutes to tell y'all a little bit about the Flourish, Alabama, and the programming that we do. If you hear me say word, I said if you hear me say word. Falsetto gang, what's poppin'? Falsetto gang, what's good? What's up, y'all? My name is Eric Marable Jr., Creative Director, co-founder of the Flourish, Alabama. Like I said, me and my brother been rocking with this for 7 years. This is the manifestation of 7 years of work, man. So thank y'all so much. Shout out to the City Council. Shout out to Sonia Smith. All this hard work is paying off.
It's been great. Several people have told me that they hadn't seen anything like this in this area. So having all of this here is something that hasn't happened on 19th Street in Inslee. So it's just been really good to see everyone come out and support and enjoy what we have to offer here in our burgeoning Black Arts District.
For another Respect Back to School rally.
Hey guys, we're out here at the 31st More Than Conquerors Faith Church Respect Rally. We're out here on the grounds. It's been amazing. I'm sure you can hear the kids screaming. We have a tent along with Birmingham Park and Rec and GMC with the park survey, giving away school supplies, books, anything you can think of. This is such an amazing event, especially from attending this event as a little girl, participating in the fashion show, helping with the planning, to now being a sponsor and a partner for the last about 6 or 7 years. So it's so amazing. We have to continue to pour back into our kids, love on our community, especially before school starts. We have to motivate them to know that they are leaders, they are capable of doing great things, and that we are behind them every step of the way. Respect every single person, every created. That is what respect stands for. So just making sure that you are always being kind and courteous, not only to yourself, but to your parents, your siblings, your family, and your friends, and your classmates, and your teachers. And when you start with respect and respect others, you can make it a long way in life.
Somebody give a house a
I just hope our kids just come with a positive attitude and with a toolbox of success to make sure they are successful in everything they do, whether it's in the classroom or out of the classroom.